Chapter 1872. This brat is Senior Gu Yang's martial nephew? Looking at Emo Qingyun's back, Mu Junting was shocked. Doubt flashed in his eyes. He felt that if Emo Qingyun was really Gu Yang's martial nephew, Emo Qingyun would have revealed his identity at the city gate. Brother Junting, do you know Mr. Emo? Seeing Mu Junting looking at Emo Qingyun's back, Luo Yan also glanced at Emo Qingyun and asked with a puzzled expression. In his opinion, even if Emo Qingyun was Gu Yang's martial nephew, Mu Junting wouldn't care so much. After all, Mu Junting was the young lord of the Wood Medicine Valley, the son of a 9-star alchemist. This status was many times higher than that of Gu Yang's martial nephew. I don't know him, but I saw him once at the city gate. Hearing Luo Yan's question, Mu Junting shook his head and withdrew his gaze from Emo Qingyun. Luo Yan didn't question Mu Junting's words and smiled faintly. Brother Junting, he's just an unknown brat. You don't have to take him to heart. Yes. Mu Junting nodded. However, it was obvious from his expression that he was very interested in Emo Qingyun. Not only that, but he also felt a trace of enmity towards Emo Qingyun. This feeling was very strange and puzzling to Mu Junting. Logically speaking, he and Emo Qingyun didn't know each other, and with Emo Qingyun's identity, he shouldn't care about him. Forget it, maybe the Alchemist Temple's trial is approaching and I'm feeling too much pressure. Mu Junting comforted himself as he walked out of the city lord's mansion with Luo Yan. Emo Qingyun didn't know that he had unknowingly made an enemy. After parting with Mu Junting and the others, Gu Yang led Emo Qingyun and the others to the city lord's residence. Soon, Gu Yang led Emo Qingyun and the others to a quiet back mountain. There was a white-haired old man sitting on a blue stone at the back of the mountain. He was leisurely fishing with a fishing rod. This white-haired old man was the city lord of Cloud Sky City, Roba Tian. Greetings, city lord. Seeing this white-haired old man, Gu Yang showed a respectful expression and immediately bowed to him. Emo Qingyun and the others followed behind Gu Yang and bowed respectfully to the white-haired old man. Luo Batian didn't respond to Gu Yang and the others' greetings, continuing to fish. Seeing Luo Batian's actions, Emo Qingyun and the others looked at each other, but they didn't voice their doubts. Splash! Just as Emo Qingyun was feeling puzzled, the sound of water splashing could be heard. A cyan demonic fish fell into the water. Although it was in the shape of a fish, there were 4 scales on its abdomen. Congratulations, City Lord, you've caught a blue lightning dragon-scaled fish. Gu Yang was delighted when he saw Roba Tian catch a fish. He immediately congratulated Roba Tian. Luo Batian put the fish away and put down the fishing rod in his hand. He glanced at Emo Qingyun and the others and said, Gu Yang, you suddenly came to see me. Is there something important? City Lord, I do have something to report. Under Luo Batian's inquiry, Gu Yang nodded and reported, just now, the servants sent word that the Alchemist Temple will be holding an alchemist trial. There are 2 requirements for the participants. First, they must be a 5-star alchemist, and second, they must be less than 10,000 years old. A 5-star alchemist less than 10,000 years old. Luo Batian furrowed his brows and revealed a troubled expression. If I remember correctly, there doesn't seem to be anyone in our Cloud Sky City who meets this condition, right? Indeed. Gu Yang nodded and didn't try to hide it. Gu Yang paused for a moment before continuing. In addition, the rewards for this year's Alchemy Master Trial will be greatly different from the previous years. The top 10 powers will receive double the number of slots to enter the Saint Tower. Furthermore, the first-place candidate will also receive a Saint Blood as a pill refinement ingredient. Luo Batian was startled, his face filled with surprise as he sighed. It seems that the Alchemist Temple is really going all out this time. I wonder what those old fellows are up to this time. Luo Batian muttered to himself. Then, he turned to Gu Yang and said, Gu Yang, since we don't have any suitable candidates in Cloud Sky City, you go and spread the news. Try to recruit a suitable candidate. As soon as Robotion finished speaking, Gu Yang pointed at Emo Qingyun and said, City Lord, I have come to talk to you about this matter. This is my martial nephew, Emo Qingyun. Although he has only cultivated for 1,000 years, he is a 5-star alchemist. 1,000 years of cultivation? A 5-star alchemist? Luo Batian raised an eyebrow. He was a little surprised by Gu Yang's words and looked curiously at Emo Qingyun. Robotion had cultivated for so many years, but this was the first time he had met someone with such great talent. While Robotion was looking at Emo Qingyun, Gu Yang took out the great profound spirit golden pill refined by Emo Qingyun and handed it to Robotion. City Lord, this is the pill refined by Qingyun not long ago. Please take a look. Tribulation grade great profound spirit golden pill. Robotion was shocked when he took the pill from Gu Yang's hand. He couldn't help but think more highly of Emo Qingyun. The fact that Emo Qingyun could refine a tribulation grade great profound spirit golden pill meant that his alchemy skills had reached the level of a 5-star alchemist. Gu Yang, your martial nephew's talent in alchemy is above yours. It was obvious that Robotion acknowledged Emo Qingyun's talent in alchemy. Seeing that Robotion approved of Emo Qingyun, Gu Yang asked, City Lord, if that's the case, do you think it's feasible to let my martial nephew participate in the alchemy test? I can't find a suitable candidate in such a short time. It's not a bad idea to let Mr. Mo participate in the test on behalf of Cloud Sky City. Robotion analyzed the situation and smiled faintly. He made a decision and said, Mr. Mo's talent in alchemy is not bad. As long as he can refine a tribulation grade great profound spirit golden pill in the test, he should be able to get into the top 10. Seeing that Robotion agreed to let Emo Qingyun participate in the test, Gu Yang didn't dare to hide anything. He immediately said, City Lord, I've discussed this with Qingyun. If he gets into the top 10, we'll give him a place to cultivate in the Saint Tower. Of course! Before Gu Yang could finish his sentence, Robotion interrupted him and agreed to Gu Yang's promise. As soon as Robotion finished his sentence, Gu Yang continued, Also, if Qingyun gets first place in the test, the Saint Blood Pill refinement materials will be given to Qingyun. The first place reward? Robotion was slightly taken aback. He quickly thought about it and said, If Mr. Mo has the ability to do so, the first place reward will naturally go to him. I agree to both conditions. Chapter 1873. After discussing the alchemy test, Emo Qingyun left the city lord's mansion and accepted the accommodations that Gu Yang had arranged for him. Mr. Mo, I took the liberty to call you my nephew. I hope you don't mind. Gu Yang apologized to Emo Qingyun as he walked out of the city lord's mansion. Senior, you're too kind. Hearing Gu Yang's words, Emo Qingyun quickly waved his hand and said, What you did just now was to cover up my identity. How can I blame you? Hearing you say that, this old man's heart is at ease. Gu Yang smiled faintly at Emo Qingyun's words. He seemed to be very satisfied with Emo Qingyun's answer. After that, Emo Qingyun chatted with Gu Yang as they walked and asked about Cloud Sky City. After chatting with Gu Yang for a while, Emo Qingyun asked curiously, Senior, why do you need to be a 5-star immortal alchemist and above to enter Cloud Sky City? You might not know this, but the city lord once obtained an ancient elixir recipe. He built Cloud Sky City to refine that elixir. Gu Yang did not hide anything from Emo Qingyun, perhaps because he had a good impression of Emo Qingyun. Emo Qingyun's eyes lit up when he heard Gu Yang's words. He was excited as he thought to himself, could the ancient elixir recipe that Roba Heaven obtained be the Nirvana elixir of creation? When Emo Qingyun thought of this, he silently made up his mind to find an opportunity to investigate this matter. While Emo Qingyun was thinking, Gu Yang led him to a small courtyard. Qingyun, you can stay here for the next few days. Gu Yang said to Emo Qingyun as he led him to the front of the courtyard. He then added, "If you need anything, just send a message to me. Don't be too courteous with me." "Thank you, senior." Emo Qingyun bowed respectfully to Gu Yang. There's no need to be so polite." Seeing Emo Qingyun's action, Gu Yang waved his hand with a faint smile and slyly said, "This old master feels like an old friend at first sight. If you don't mind, this old master will be your martial uncle from now on." Martial nephew pays his respects to martial uncle. Emo Qingyun accepted Gu Yang's suggestion without hesitation and bowed to Gu Yang again. No matter what Gu Yang's intentions were, it was still a good thing to have a senior uncle like Gu Yang. "Haha, good, good, good." Seeing Emo Qingyun's actions, Gu Yang let out a hearty laugh, a gratified look on his face as he said, "If that's the case, this old man will take his leave first. If you need anything, feel free to look for this old man anytime." "Take care, Uncle Master," Emo Qingyun said as he watched Gu Yang leave. Seeing Gu Yang leave, Emo Qingyun didn't return to the courtyard, but instead thought to himself, "Since everything is ready, I should go out and see if I can find any clues." With such thoughts in mind, Emo Qingyun left his residence and planned to walk around Cloud Sky City. Now that he had the identity token from Gu Yang and the agreement with Roba Tian, Emo Qingyun didn't have anything to worry about. As long as he didn't do anything excessive, no one in Cloud Sky City would dare to touch him. After leaving his residence, Emo Qingyun walked around the city for a while before he entered a restaurant. There were many people in the restaurant, and there were all kinds of people inside, so they would talk about all kinds of random topics. If he was lucky, he could hear a lot of useful information. Emo Qingyun walked into the restaurant and walked to the corner of the lobby. He found a seat by the window and sat down. Emo Qingyun sat down in the restaurant and casually ordered some dishes and wine, then began to listen to the conversations around him. "Did you guys hear? Tang Wenhai was rewarded with a quasi-Saint Tool pill cauldron for providing information about the Fire Qilin Wolf. The Fire Qilin Wolf only has the Qilin bloodline, but he was rewarded with information about it. If he provided information about the Qilin sacred beast, wouldn't he be rewarded with a Saint Tool pill cauldron? Not only is there a reward for providing information about the Qilin sacred beast, but there's also a reward for providing information about other sacred beasts." Voices of conversation entered Emo Qingyun's ears. "Roba Tian is collecting the blood of sacred beasts?" Hearing these people's conversation, Emo Qingyun frowned and his heart started to beat faster. It seems that the desolate ancient pill formula that Roba Tian obtained is most likely the Nirvana elixir of creation. Emo Qingyun guessed. He was puzzled and asked, according to the King Devourer's description, the Nirvana elixir of creation should be used to heal people whose souls are seriously injured. Could it be that Roba Tian's soul is seriously injured? After thinking for a while, Emo Qingyun shook his head and felt that this situation was unlikely. When he saw Roba Tian previously, although Roba Tian didn't reveal any aura fluctuations, he definitely didn't look like someone with a hidden illness. Could it be that the soul of one of Luo Baishan's closest relatives was severely injured? After guessing other possibilities, Emo Qingyun didn't think too much about it. He thought to himself, no matter what the situation is, I have to get the desolate ancient pill formula that Roba Tian has. While Emo Qingyun was guessing, two arrogant-looking young men walked into the restaurant with a group of followers. Seeing the two enter the restaurant, the people in the restaurant immediately tensed up and reverence appeared on their faces. These two young men were naturally Mu Junting and Luo Yan. "They're here." Seeing Mu Junting and Luo Yan arrive, Emo Qingyun's eyes narrowed and he couldn't help but take another look at the two of them. After glancing at Mu Junting and Luo Yan, Emo Qingyun ignored them and retracted his gaze. "That kid is here too." Seeing Emo Qingyun in the hall, Mu Junting and Luo Yan were surprised and smirked. Then, Mu Junting and Luo Yan walked over to Emo Qingyun under everyone's gazes. When they arrived in front of Mo Qingyun, Mu Junting smiled mockingly and said, "Mr. Mo, I didn't expect that we would meet 3 times in a day. What fate!" "Indeed, fate." Mo Qingyun nodded. His expression was very calm, without the slightest fluctuation of emotion. Seeing Mo Qingyun's reaction, Mu Junting and Luo Yan were slightly surprised. They were a little surprised by Mo Qingyun's calmness. Glancing at the empty seats on the side, Mu Junting's lips curled up slightly and he asked with a faint smile, "Mr. Mo, there are still a few empty seats here. Do you mind if we sit down?" "The seats are empty. If you want to sit, then sit." Mo Qingyun smiled nonchalantly at Mu Junting's question and acted like he didn't care. Chapter 1874. "Mr. Mo, you've really hidden it well." Looking at Mo Qingyun beside him, Mu Junting put on a fake smile and said meaningfully, "You're right." Hearing Mu Junting's words, Mo Qingyun frowned slightly. He didn't understand what the former meant. "Mr. Mo, since you're Senior Gu Yang's martial nephew, why didn't you reveal it earlier?" Seeing that Mo Qingyun didn't understand what he meant, Mu Junting immediately explained and said, "If you had said it earlier, I wouldn't have offended you at the city gate." "Haha, is that so?" Mo Qingyun smiled indifferently. He didn't agree with Mu Junting's words. He smiled and said, "I think that if I revealed my identity, young Master Mu would probably say that I'm going to get in through the back door." "Haha, Mr. Mo, you really know how to joke." Mu Junting laughed, his face full of hypocrisy. Hearing Mo Qingyun and Mu Junting's words, Luo Yan also laughed and interrupted, "I say, one of you is Mr. Mo, the other is young Master Mu. Don't tease each other here." Hearing this, Mo Qingyun and Mu Junting looked at each other and smiled. They both had their own ulterior motive. "It's fate that we're all gathered here. Today, I'll be the host and treat you two to a meal." Luo Yan acted as a peacemaker. He called the waiter and ordered more dishes. Mo Qingyun didn't refuse Luo Yan's actions. He sat to the side with an indifferent expression. After a while, all the dishes were served. Everyone began to talk insincerely again. After talking with Luo Yan and Mu Junting, Mo Qingyun hesitated for a moment. He couldn't help but ask, "Young City Lord, I heard that the City Lord is collecting divine blood, as well as some blood that contains the bloodline of sacred beasts?" "Yes, it's true." Facing Mo Qingyun's question, Luo Yan didn't hide anything and answered truthfully. Recalling Mo Qingyun's words, Luo Yan revealed a curious expression and asked, "Mr. Mo, why are you suddenly asking about this? Could it be that you have information about divine blood, or perhaps the blood that contains the bloodline of divine beasts?" "Not bad." Mo Qingyun nodded and gave Luo Yan an affirmative answer. He then said, "I just happen to have a type of blood that contains the bloodline of a holy beast. I wonder how many types the City Lord has collected?" Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Luo Yan's eyes immediately brightened. He revealed a pleasantly surprised smile and said, "We need the blood of the Good Fortune Saint, the blood of the Azure Dragon, the blood of the White Tiger, the blood of the Vermilion Bird, the blood of the Xuanwu, the blood of the Phoenix, the blood of the Three-Legged Golden Crow, the blood of the Qilin, and the blood of the Xieji. We are also willing to pay a high price to purchase the blood of these 9 sacred beasts." Hearing Luo Xian's words, Mo Qingyun's expression immediately tensed up, and a wave of shock rose in his heart. Although he had already guessed that Roba Tian had collected the blood of the 9 sacred beasts, it was still very shocking to hear it for himself. Seeing that Mo Qingyun was silent, Luo Yan was a little uneasy. He hurriedly complained to Mo Qingyun, "To be honest with you, Mr. Mo, my father is collecting these 9 types of sacred blood mainly to refine an ancient elixir to heal my mother's soul injury." As expected, hearing Luo Yan's words, Mo Qingyun had a definite answer to his guess. It seemed that his guess was not wrong. The elixir recipe of the 9-day Nirvana creation elixir had indeed fallen into the hands of Robotion, and he was planning to refine the 9-day Nirvana creation elixir. In order to confirm his guess, Mo Qinyun deliberately put on a puzzled expression and said, I once saw in an ancient book a type of elixir called the 9-day Nirvana creation elixir. When refining it, it requires the blood of 9 sacred beasts. Could it be that the city lord wants to refine the 9-day Nirvana creation elixir? Luo Yan and Mu Junchen were shocked. They looked at Mo Qinyun in disbelief, extremely shocked by Mo Qinyun's knowledge. They did not expect that Mo Qinyun could guess what elixir they wanted to refine with just a few words. Seeing that Mo Qinyun had guessed it, Mu Junting smiled coldly and said, Mr. Mo, you are really knowledgeable. You are indeed the nephew of Senior Gu Yang. Your knowledge is indeed extraordinary. Haha, young master, you are too kind. In response to Mu Junting's praise, Mo Qinyun smiled faintly and waved his hand. He said self-deprecatingly, the reason I know about the 9-day Nirvana creation elixir is mainly because I happened to read some records. If you had changed to another type of ancient elixir, I'm afraid I would know nothing about it. Haha, Mr. Mo is really humorous. He always likes to joke. Luo Yan naturally did not believe Mo Qinyun's explanation. He immediately laughed. After diverting everyone's attention, Luo Yan did not beat around the bush. He immediately said to Mo Qinyun, Mr. Mo, to tell you the truth, my father wants to refine the 9-day Nirvana creation elixir. What kind of blood do you have? I once obtained some phoenix blood, celestial Pung blood by chance. I wonder if it will be useful to you? Since they had reached this point, Mo Qinyun naturally did not hide it anymore. He revealed a type of blood to Luo Yan. Hearing Mo Qinyun's words, Mu Junting nodded with a smile and began to analyze for Luo Yan. He said, the phoenix blood celestial Pung contains the phoenix blood. It can be used to replace the phoenix blood in refining the 9-day Nirvana creation elixir. After Mu Junting's analysis, Luo Yan's expression became excited. He impatiently asked, Mr. Mo, I wonder what you want to exchange the phoenix blood celestial Pung blood for? I will do my best to satisfy your request. Hearing Luo Yan's words, Mo Qinyun fell silent and pretended to be deep in thought. Seeing Mo Qinyun's silence, Luo Yan's expression became serious. He was afraid that Mo Qinyun would ask for an exorbitant price. Mo Qinyun fell silent for a while. He thought of an excuse and smiled faintly. He said, recently, I have been refining a cauldron of righteous exorcism elixir. I need some Xieji sacred beast blood. If young city lord has Xieji sacred beast blood, I can exchange it with you. This way, neither of us will lose out. Blood that contains Xieji sacred beast blood? Hearing Mo Qinyun's request, Luo Yan's expression immediately became difficult. He appeared to be very hesitant. While Luo Yan was hesitating, Mu Junting rolled his eyes and smiled. He said, Mr. Mo, the righteous exorcism elixir is an elixir that can expel inner demons. You and I are both immortal alchemists. Normally, we won't have inner demons. This kind of elixir seems to be useless to you, right? Mo Qinyun could not be more clear about what Mu Junting meant. He was questioning his purpose of asking for Xieji sacred beast blood. Understanding Mu Junting's thoughts, Mo Qinyun felt a wave of disdain towards him. Pretending to be sad, he sighed and said, because of my pride, I wanted to cultivate the Tao of pills, the Tao of immortals, and the Tao of formations. In the end, in my haste for success, I accidentally developed an inner demon. When Mo Qinyun said this, he released a wave of demonic power, causing a wave of demonic qi to linger around his body. What a powerful demonic qi! Sensing the demonic qi on Mo Qinyun's body, Luo Yan and Mu Junting were shocked. They did not expect this situation. Chapter 1875. Seeing that Luo Yan and Mu Junting believed him, Emo Qingyun withdrew his demonic qi and looked at Mu Junting indifferently. He was reminding Mu Junting that he had nothing to say now. It seems that we have misunderstood. I didn't expect Brother Emo to have such an encounter. Under Emo Qingyun's gaze, Mu Junting laughed awkwardly and revealed a guilty expression. While Mu Junting was at a loss for words, Luo Yan's eyes turned as a bad idea arose in his mind. He said, "Young Master Emo, since you have the phoenix blood, heavenly rock's blood, can you take it out and let me take a look?" "Sure." Emo Qingyun didn't think too much about Luo Yan's request and nodded his head in agreement. After Emo Qingyun finished speaking, he took out a jade bottle and carefully opened the jade bottle stopper. As the jade bottle stopper was opened, a domineering heat wave immediately spread out in the restaurant's hall. When the heat wave appeared, a drop of red blood slowly flew out of the jade bottle. Seeing this drop of red blood, Luo Yan's expression immediately tensed up. He was very excited and nervous. It is indeed the phoenix blood, heavenly rock's blood. Moreover, it is extremely pure. Glancing at the phoenix blood, heavenly rock's blood, Luo Yan revealed an excited expression and confirmed the grade of the phoenix blood, heavenly rock's blood. Seeing that Luo Yan and Mu Junting had seen the blood, Emo Qingyun raised his hand and took back the phoenix blood, heavenly rock's blood. "Young city lord, you have seen the phoenix blood, heavenly rock's blood. When do we start the transaction?" After taking back the phoenix blood, heavenly rock's blood, Emo Qingyun looked indifferently at Luo Yan and asked for his opinion. "Transaction?" Hearing Emo Qingyun's words, Luo Yan sneered and his expression gradually turned cold. He said, "Kid, for the sake of consecrated Guyang, if you take the initiative to hand over the phoenix blood, heavenly rock's blood, I will not make things difficult for you. I hope you will not find trouble for yourself." Seeing Luo Yan's change of attitude, not only was Emo Qingyun surprised, but Mu Junting was also surprised. Luo Yan had changed his attitude so quickly that they were not prepared at all. However, Emo Qingyun did not mind. After being stunned for a moment, he revealed a faint smile and said, "It seems that the young city lord wants to use the excuse of an exchange to trick me into taking out the phoenix blood, heavenly rock's blood, and then openly rob me? Haha, it's good that you know." Now that his intentions had been seen through, Luo Yan no longer hid anything. He revealed a complacent cold smile and said, "Brat, you are a smart person. Since you know what I am thinking, you should know what to do. If I don't hand it over?" Emo Qingyun did not panic at all in the face of Luo Yan's aggressiveness. Instead, he asked calmly. Emo Qingyun's idea was very simple. If Luo Yan did not know how to appreciate his kindness, he would not mind teaching him a lesson. In the process of teaching Luo Xian a lesson, he could test Robatian and see if he coveted the phoenix blood, heavenly Peng's blood. After all, Emo Qingyun would participate in the alchemy master trial later. The reward for first place was the real sacred blood. If Robatian coveted the phoenix blood, heavenly Peng's blood, when Emo Qingyun obtained the real sacred blood, how could he not make a move to snatch it? Now, it was very necessary to use this matter to test Robatian. When Emo Qingyun thought of this, he was even more unwilling to cower. He was unwilling to be outdone. Seeing Emo Qingyun's performance, Mu Junting's face darkened and he shouted angrily, "Humph! You are really bold. You actually dared to steal the heavenly rock blood that the city lord's residence treasures. I think you are tired of living." Hearing Mu Junting's words, Luo Yan's eyes immediately lit up. He agreed with Mu Junting's words. Luo Yan said coldly, "Emo Qingyun, my father thought so highly of you in vain. I never imagined that you were actually such a person. You've truly disappointed us. The city lord is a dignified Saint Realm expert. If the things he hid were stolen by a golden immortal like me, then wouldn't he be too useless?" Emo Qingyun wasn't surprised by Luo Yan and Mu Junting's actions. He ridiculed them and said, "If you want to seize the phoenix blood, heavenly Peng's blood, then the two of you can just make a move. There's no need to be a prostitute here." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Luo Yan didn't conceal anything and immediately shouted to the subordinates behind him, "This person stole the treasures of the city lord mansion. Immediately make a move and capture him. Don't let him escape." "Yes, young lord." When they heard Luo Yan's order, those guards immediately responded and surrounded Mo Qingyun. The strength of these guards wasn't bad. They were all at the 3rd and 4th level of the 9 Heavens Xian, immortal realm. They quickly surrounded Mo Qingyun. When he saw these guards surrounding him, Mo Qingyun didn't show any signs of panic. He just casually waved his hand at Huang Feng. Huang Feng immediately stood out when he received Mo Qingyun's signal and released the aura of a peak 5th level 9 Heavens Xian, immortal realm expert. When they sensed Huang Feng's aura, Luo Yan and Mu Junting's expressions immediately tensed up. Their eyes flashed with shock and panic. They didn't expect that Mo Qingyun would have such a powerful subordinate by his side. This was going to be difficult. Mo Qingyun ignored Luo Yan and Luo Yan's feelings. He swept his gaze over the surrounding guards and said calmly, "Old fogey Huang Feng, toss these fellows out. If anyone dares to stop us, toss them out as well." Mo Qingyun's words were very clear. He was reminding Luo Yan and Mu Junting and hoped that they would be sensible. If they dared to put on airs, then Huang Feng wouldn't hold back and throw them out together. "Mo Qingyun, don't go too far." Luo Yan and Mu Junting's expressions turned gloomy when they saw Mo Qingyun's actions, and they gnashed their teeth and shouted angrily, "Have I gone too far?" Mo Qingyun grinned when he saw Luo Yan and Luo Yan's furious expressions. He asked them in return, "Old ghost Huang Feng, throw them all out. Don't leave a single one behind." Luo Yan and Mu Junting became even more furious when they heard Mo Qingyun's words. He was going to throw them out as well. "Yes, master." Huang Feng started to act when he received Mo Qingyun's order. He couldn't care less. Huang Feng was a Saint Realm expert at his peak, and his current cultivation was much higher than Luo Yan and Mu Junting. He was naturally not someone that Luo Yan and Mu Junting could resist. Very soon, Luo Yan and Mu Junting were thrown out of the restaurant like trash by Huang Feng. Everyone in the surroundings was petrified when they saw Luo Yan and Mu Junting being thrown out of the restaurant. They were stunned by Mo Qingyun's actions. Who is that young man? How dare he treat the junior city lord and young master Mu like that? I don't know. I've never seen him before. He must have a great background. In my opinion, that kid will regret it before long. Everyone began to gossip when they saw Mo Qingyun's actions. They all smiled gloatingly. Chapter 1876. Master, those two have extraordinary identities. Do we need to inform Gu Yang about this? After teaching Luo Xian and the others a lesson, Huang Feng revealed a worried expression as he voiced his thoughts. He believed that with just his and Mo Qingyun's strength, it would be quite difficult to deal with this matter. After all, his and Mo Qingyun's strength was limited, and they could barely deal with a 7th layer 9 Heavens Xian immortal. One had to know that there were martial saints in the Cloud Heaven City. Even if a Saint Realm expert didn't appear, an 8th layer 9 Heavens Xian immortal could easily annihilate them. There's no need for that for now. Hearing Huang Feng's question, Mo Qingyun waved his hand and rejected his suggestion. What Mo Qingyun wanted in his heart was to blow this matter up so that Luo Batian and the others would find out. Only when this matter reached Robatian's ears could he test whether Robatian was interested in the Phoenix blood, Heavenly Peng's blood. Moreover, he wanted to use this opportunity to test Gu Yang and see if Gu Yang would really stand up for him. Otherwise, if he really obtained first place in the alchemy competition after the end of the competition, Gu Yang would be in trouble. If Robatian suddenly made a move on him and Gu Yang didn't do anything, he would be in an even worse situation. Rather than being passive at that time, he might as well take the initiative to test Gu Yang and get some information. Although it was a very dangerous move for him to test Gu Yang and Robotion, he still had to do it. For the sake of his safety, he had to give it a try. Ignore Luo Xian and the others. Sit down and eat something first. Emo Qingyun pointed at the seat beside him and greeted him with a faint smile when he saw the tense expression on old ghost Huang Feng's face. Hearing Emo Qingyun's words, Huang Feng didn't think too much about it and sat down beside Emo Qingyun. Since Emo Qingyun said so, he could only listen to Emo Qingyun. He believed that with Emo Qingyun's wisdom, he wouldn't treat his life as a joke. After that, Emo Qingyun and Huang Feng sat there and waited for Luo Xian and the others to come for revenge. Outside the restaurant, Luo Yan and the others were thrown out. They left right away and headed in the direction of the city lord's office. Damned brat, he's too arrogant. I definitely won't let him off so easily. On the way back to the city lord's mansion, Luo Yan had a ferocious expression on his face and a murderous aura emanated from his body. As the young city lord of the Cloud Heaven City, he was actually taught a lesson in the Cloud Heaven City. This was simply a great humiliation. If he did not chop Emo Qingyun into pieces, he would not be able to vent the hatred in his heart. I heard that the kid is going to represent Cloud Sky City in the alchemy trials. You'd better not act rashly. Seeing the furious Luo Yan, Mu Junting smiled sinisterly. He purposely tried to persuade Luo Yan out of goodwill. Then, he said, I feel that we should tell the city lord about this matter first and see how the city lord will deal with it. Otherwise, you might offend the city lord by attacking that brat. Mu Junting knew Luo Yan's personality very well. The more he tried to persuade him, the more furious Luo Yan would be. This would make Luo Yan feel that he could not afford to offend Emo Qingyun. With Luo Yan's arrogant personality, he would definitely not be able to accept this kind of thing. As expected, when Luo Yan heard Mu Junting's persuasion, his face immediately darkened. He said angrily, "That brat dares to make me lose face. Even if my father blames me, I will chop him into pieces first. You don't have to persuade me anymore." Sigh. Seeing Luo Yan's resolute attitude, Mu Junting purposely sighed and showed a helpless look. While Mu Junting was pretending to be helpless, a sinister smile appeared on his face. He thought to himself, "Brat, I was still thinking about how to deal with you. Now it seems that I don't need to worry about it." After a while, Luo Yan and the others returned to the city lord's mansion and came to a corner hall. "Men, bring me Commander Hua and Commander Hua." Walking into the hall, Luo Yan's face darkened as he ordered his subordinates. Hearing Luo Yan's order, a few guards immediately left the hall and went to pass the message to Commander Hua and Commander Hua. Perhaps because they knew that Luo Yan was in a bad mood, the guards were very efficient and quickly brought Commander Hua and Commander Hua. "Greetings, young city lord." Commander Hua and Commander Hua walked into the hall and immediately bowed to Luo Yan. Both of them were very strong. They were at the peak of the 7th level of the 9 Heavens Xian, immortal realm, and were only a step away from the 8th level. With their strength, it was more than enough to deal with Emo Qingyun and Luo Yan under normal circumstances. "Young city lord, I wonder what urgent matter you have to instruct us to urgently summon the two of us?" Commander Hua was a lean man. He looked very shrewd and cunning as he asked Luo Yan carefully. Compared to Commander Hua's shrewdness, Commander Hua was much more simple and honest. He was a burly middle-aged man with a dark face. Seeing that Commander Hua had spoken, Commander Hua did not speak anymore. He stood at the side with his head held high. "Commanders, the matter is like this. Just now in the Heavenly Cloud restaurant," hearing Commander Hua's inquiry, a guard told the general situation truthfully to the two of them. As soon as the guard finished speaking, Commander Hua flew into a rage and roared, "How dare this kid! He stole something from the city lord's mansion and actually dared to injure the young city lord. I think he is tired of living." While Commander Hua was furious, Commander Hua rolled his eyes and did not think that the guard was telling the truth. He had followed Roba for thousands of years. He was very clear about what kind of person Luoyen was. If he was not mistaken, Luoyen must have taken a fancy to Emo Qingyun's things and tried to snatch them but failed and was beaten up instead. After suffering a setback, he was unhappy and called the two of them over to take revenge on Emo Qingyun. Although Commander Hua knew what Luoyen was thinking, he did not dare to expose him. He asked Luoyen in a low voice, "Young city lord, since Emo Qingyun is Gu Yang's martial nephew, shouldn't we discuss this matter at length and ask for the city lord's and Gu Yang's opinion?" Hearing Commander Hua's words, Luoyen's face immediately turned unhappy and he asked, "Commander Hua, whose side are you on? Based on what you said, should I ask my father if I want to ask you to help me in the future?" "No. No, that's not what I meant. Young city lord, please calm down." Seeing that Luoyen was unhappy, Commander Hua immediately panicked and hurriedly explained to Luoyen. Seeing Commander Hua's action, Commander Hua showed a dissatisfied expression and said in a deep voice, "Commander Hua, this is your fault. The young city lord asked us to deal with that kid. Let's do it as soon as possible. Why are you asking so much?" Yes, it's my fault this time." Commander Hua nodded in agreement with Commander Hua's words, but he was cursing in his heart. "In that case, let's go find that kid now and let him know the consequences of offending me." Luoyen stood up and walked out of the hall. He did not want to wait a moment longer. Chapter 1877. After a short while, Luoyen led everyone back to Skycloud Restaurant. When they saw Luoyen and the others walking over aggressively, everyone in the restaurant immediately opened up a path for them. When they opened up space, they revealed sympathetic gazes and felt worried for Emo Qingyun and Mu Tianan. The group Luoyen brought this time was much stronger than before, and it included 2 experts at the 7th level of the 9 Heavens Profound Immortal Realm. Even if Huang Feng's strength wasn't bad, it was still far from sufficient to go against experts at the 7th level of the 9 Heavens Profound Immortal Realm. Under the gazes of everyone, Luoyen led Mu Junting and the others over to Emo Qingyun. 2 experts at the 7th level of the 9 Heavens Profound Immortal Realm. Emo Qingyun's eyes narrowed slightly when he saw Luoyen and the others return, and he was slightly surprised by the group Luoyen brought. Even though he was surprised by the strength of the group Luoyen brought, Emo Qingyun didn't pay too much attention to it because he was barely able to deal with these people. "Brat, are you regretting your actions of offending me?" Luoyen revealed a complacent sneer as he stood before Emo Qingyun, and he replied with a question. "In Skycloud City, those who dare go against me, Luoyen, won't have a good ending in the end." Emo Qingyun remained silent and continued to eat calmly, and he didn't care about Luoyen's ruthless words in the slightest. When he saw Emo Qingyun's display, Luoyen's face immediately turned gloomy, and he said furiously, pretending to be calm. "Do you think I won't dare touch you just because you're pretending to be calm in the face of danger? Commanders, I'll have to trouble the 2 of you to kill these 2. Luoyen spoke furiously, and then he ordered Commander Hua and Mu Junting to kill Emo Qingyun and Mu Tianan. At this moment, as soon as Luoyen finished speaking, Mu Junting's eyes spun, and he revealed a cold smile as he suggested, "Brother Luoyen, isn't it too easy for him to just kill this kid? I think we should bring him back first and slowly torture him later." "That's a good idea." Hearing Mu Junting's words, Luoyen's eyes lit up and he nodded in agreement. After accepting Mu Junting's suggestion, Luoyen changed the topic and instructed the Hua duo, "Commanders, don't be in a hurry to kill this brat. Capture him alive and bring him back. I want to slowly torture him." "No problem." Commander Hua grinned with a mocking look on his face. He slowly walked toward Emo Qingyun and said, "Boy, I have seen many stupid people, but it is the first time I, Hua Tzuliang, have seen such an idiot like you." Commander Hua sneered. He took a step forward and raised his hand to grab Emo Qingyun's shoulder. A terrifying immortal spiritual energy erupted from Hua Tzuliang's palm and turned into a huge tiger claw. Seeing Commander Hua's actions, old ghost Huang Feng did not dare to hesitate in the slightest. He immediately acted to stop Commander Hua. "Kid, let me play with you." Seeing old ghost Huang Feng obstructing Commander Hua sneered and extended his palm toward Emo Qingyun. Seeing that Commander Hua was going to attack him, Emo Qingyun immediately moved and fled out of the hotel. "Trying to escape? Do you think you can escape?" Seeing Emo Qingyun fleeing out of the restaurant, the corners of Commander Hua's mouth curled up slightly. A trace of mockery appeared on his face. At this moment, Emo Qingyun was like a mouse being toyed with by a cat. As soon as Commander Hua finished speaking, his body turned into an afterimage and chased after Emo Qingyun. Thunder dragon wings breaking the sky. Seeing that Commander Hua had caught up to him, Emo Qingyun waved his arm and took out 2 dragon horns that were flashing with lightning. 2 terrifying lightning powers erupted from the 2 dragon horns, transforming into 2 gigantic lightning wings. With the support of the 2 thunder wings, Emo Qingyun's movement speed immediately rose to a whole new level. Swoosh! Emo Qingyun's figure flashed and appeared outside the Heavenly Cloud restaurant in the blink of an eye. He had shaken off Commander Hua, who was behind him. Looking at Emo Qingyun's movement speed, Commander Hua was shocked and said in surprise, "So fast! What kind of ability did this kid use to increase his speed by so much?" After Commander Hua said that, he began to increase his speed and quickly closed the distance between him and Emo Qingyun. Seeing that he was closing the distance between Emo Qingyun and himself, Commander Hua sneered again and said proudly, "Kid, you can't escape. Just surrender obediently." Seven-headed green serpent, stop him. Seeing that Commander Hua was closing in again, Emo Qingyun did not panic at all. He raised his hand and waved at the void. Soon, a huge monster with 7 heads appeared in front of Emo Qingyun. When this huge monster appeared, it emitted a powerful aura that was close to the 7th level of the 9 Heavens Xian immortal realm. A 7-headed green serpent at the peak of the 6th level of the 9 Heavens Xian immortal realm. This kid actually has such a mount. Seeing the appearance of the 7-headed green serpent, Commander Hua's expression changed drastically. He did not expect this. Without waiting for Commander Hua to recover, the 7-headed green serpent swung its tail and pounced at Commander Hua. Although the 7-headed green serpent's cultivation level was not high, its comprehension of the concept was very high. It was far from what Commander Hua could compare with. Then, it actually gained a slight upper hand in the battle with Commander Hua. This 7-headed green serpent's concept is so high. There is actually a saint power surrounding its body. After a few rounds with the 7-headed green serpent, Commander Hua was even more shocked. He said with a panicked expression, "Could it be that this 7-headed green serpent's cultivation level had reached the saint realm at its peak?" When Commander Hua thought of this, his face turned pale and his expression became even more tense. If that was the case, the situation would be terrible. How could this be? Seeing Commander Hua being suppressed by the 7-headed green serpent, Luo Yan was immediately dumbfounded. He could not believe that this was real. The 7-headed green serpent's cultivation level was obviously not as high as Commander Hua's, but it still gained the upper hand in the battle. This was just too abnormal. However, before Luo Yan could recover, he saw Old Yellow Wind and Commander Hua flying out of Heavenly Cloud Restaurant together. After Old Yellow Wind and Commander Hua flew out of Heavenly Cloud Restaurant, they immediately started fighting again. The situation was still the same. Although Old Yellow Wind's cultivation level was not high, he was on par with Commander Hua in the battle. No, this can't be real. How could that kid's subordinate be so strong? Luo Yan had a crazy expression on his face. He shook his head agitatedly, as if he had been greatly stimulated. The situation in front of them was too different from what they had imagined. So much so that for a moment, he could not accept this result. Luo Yan was not the only one who was shocked. The surrounding people were also extremely shocked. In their eyes, it should have been a one-sided situation, but now it had become a tie. Chapter 1878. That kid actually has so many experts by his side. Where did this kid come from? His background seems to be stronger than young city Lord Luo Yan. I heard that he seems to be Gu Yang's martial nephew. Looks like he has an even stronger background. In that case, young city Lord Luo Yan and the others have probably encountered a tough opponent this time. The people around him whispered to each other. Under everyone's shocked gaze, Emo Qingyun's figure flashed and arrived in front of Luo Yan and the others. Emo Qingyun stood in midair and looked down at Luo Yan and the others below. He said, "Young city Lord Luo Yan, young valley Lord Mu Junting, didn't you want to capture me alive? Why are you standing there like idiots?" Upon hearing Emo Qingyun's words, Luo Yan's face darkened. He was so angry that his face kept twitching. He said angrily, "Kid, don't be too arrogant. Even if Commander Hua and the others didn't make a move, with our strength, it wouldn't be difficult to deal with a golden immortal like you." Emo Qingyun chuckled and didn't refute. He looked at Luo Yan and the others with disdain. Luo Yan and the others were only at the 3rd and 4th level of the 9 Heavens Xian, immortal realm. Even if he didn't use the power of his bloodline, it was enough to deal with Luo Yan and the others. Back in the Flame Spirit Valley, his strength was far from what it was now, but he could still easily crush the 4th level of the 9 Heavens Xian, immortal realm. Now that his strength had soared, it was naturally easier to deal with the 3rd and 4th level of the 9 Heavens Xian, immortal realm. Everyone spread out and seal off this kid's escape route. Luo Yan waved his hand and ordered the guards beside him. They began to fly towards Emo Qingyun. After receiving Luo Yan's order, the guards didn't dare to hesitate and immediately spread out to surround Emo Qingyun. The corners of Emo Qingyun's mouth curled up slightly when he saw the actions of Luo Yan and the others. He said in a heroic tone, "Although there are some trump cards that I can't use, just using the Shadow Dragon transformation and the 9-9 Heavenly Demon sword formation is more than enough to deal with you." Emo Qingyun had just broken through the Shadow Dragon transformation and the 9-9 Heavenly Demon God slaying sword formation, so he was worried about finding people to practice with. Luo Yan and the others were very suitable. Shadow Dragon transformation. As soon as Emo Qingyun finished speaking, he used the Shadow Dragon transformation of the 9 Revolutions mystical transformation and quickly changed his form. In just a short while, Emo Qingyun's body had grown several times larger, turning into a dragon that was more than 10 meters long. To be exact, it turned into a dragon shadow that was more than 10 meters long. When Emo Qingyun's body was changing, his aura was also increasing rapidly. Soon, he reached the Grand Unity Xian, immortal realm. What kind of divine ability is this? It can actually raise a person's cultivation level. Sensing the change in Emo Qingyun's aura, Mu Junting's expression immediately changed, and a trace of fear appeared in his eyes. Emo Qingyun was too strange. Every move of his was extremely powerful, and it exceeded his expectations time and time again. While Mu Junting was panicking, Luo Yan's expression darkened. He shouted, "So what if your cultivation level has increased? Your Grand Unity Xian, immortal realm, is still not enough. It's still not difficult for us to kill you." "Kill!" Luo Yan shouted angrily and ordered the surrounding guards to attack. "Yes." Hearing Luo Yan's order to attack, the surrounding guards immediately responded and began to use immortal techniques on Emo Qingyun. Waves of powerful immortal spiritual energy blasted out from the guards' weapons, transforming into various forms. Facing the attacks of the crowd, Mo Qingyun did not panic at all. His hands quickly formed a hand seal. When Mo Qingyun formed the hand seal, 16 sage-level ancient swords quickly appeared beside him. Rise. After summoning the 16 ancient swords, Mo Qingyun pointed his finger, circled in the air, and waved it forward. Under Mo Qingyun's control, the 16 ancient swords immediately formed a sword formation, circling around Mo Qingyun like a dragon. Clang clang clang, as the ancient sword flew, a series of crisp sounds could be heard coming from it. Soon, the 16 ancient swords bloomed with dazzling light and emitted a fierce aura, intercepting the various attacks that attacked Mo Qingyun. Puff puff puff, facing the bombardment of the 16 ancient swords, the saber light, sword shadows, and palm prints were all disintegrated in an instant. Slash. After neutralizing everyone's attacks with a lift of his hand, Mo Qingyun's movements did not stop. His body began to spin in the air. As Mo Qingyun's body spun, the 16 ancient swords immediately danced in the air, producing sharp sword lights. When these sword lights appeared, they were like arrows that were shot out from a bow, bombarding the surroundings with extreme speed. At this moment, the dazzling sword lights gave the impression that tens of thousands of swords were shot at the same time. What a powerful attack! Seeing Mo Qingyun's attack, Luo Yan and the others immediately panicked, and a sense of fear rose in their hearts. If they had not seen this scene with their own eyes, they would not have believed it even if they were beaten to death. Such a powerful attack was executed by a Daluo Golden Celestial. Young Lord, retreat quickly! Seeing the sword lights approaching, the guards panicked and immediately shielded Luo Yan behind them. Hearing the guards' warning, Luo Xian didn't dare to hesitate and immediately retreated. Puff puff puff, as Luo Yan retreated, the guards were hit by the sword lights, and hideous wounds appeared on their bodies. Some of the guards who were more seriously injured fell from the air, and lay motionless on the ground. No one knew if they were dead or alive. Young Lord. Noticing the battle situation on Mo Qingyun's side, Commander Hua and Commander Huo were shocked and immediately came to Luo Yan's side. In their opinion, although dealing with the seven-headed green dragon was important, it was not as important as protecting Luo Yan. Seeing the arrival of Commander Hua and Commander Hua, Luo Yan's expression relaxed a little, but his expression was still tense. This time, he had miscalculated. Coming to Luo Yan's side, Commander Hua and Commander Hua checked on Luo Yan's condition and finally relaxed. It was good that Luo Yan was fine. Otherwise, the two of them would not be able to explain themselves. What are you waiting for? Hurry up and report this to the city governor. Seeing that the development of the situation had exceeded their expectations, Commander Hua did not dare to continue hiding this matter. Judging from the talent and potential that Mo Qingyun had displayed, it was very likely that he came from a powerful force. This was not something they could handle. Receiving Commander Hua's order, the guards who were less seriously injured immediately rushed to the city governor's mansion. Commander Hua ordered the guards to pass the message. Commander Hua smiled faintly, indicating that he wanted to reconcile with Mo Qingyun. He smiled apologetically and said, "Young master, it was all our fault. I apologize to you first. How about we end this matter here?" End this matter here? I don't think it's that simple. Hearing Commander Hua's words, Mo Qingyun pursed his lips. He did not believe Commander Hua's words and said, "If I'm not wrong, your current actions are probably a delaying tactic. You want to find stronger helpers, right?" Chapter 1879. Since you have nothing else to say, I can only continue. Seeing that Commander Hua was at a loss for words, Mo Qingyun didn't waste any more words with him. He took the initiative to attack Commander Hua and the others. No matter what the situation was, he had to capture Luo Yan first. This way, he would have another trump card. Even if Robotion turned hostile later, he still had Robotion's weakness to use against Robotion. Kid, if you dare to touch the young city lord, you'll be digging your own grave. Seeing Mo Qingyun rapidly approaching, Commander Hua was so angry that his face trembled. He let out an angry roar. If he wasn't here, he wouldn't have any psychological burden if Luo Yan was killed by Mo Qingyun. But now that he was by Luo Yan's side, if anything happened to Luo Yan, he wouldn't be able to account for it. In his opinion, Mo Qingyun's current actions were giving him a hard time. Commander Hua roared angrily. Without hesitation, he immediately charged at Mo Qingyun. Before Commander Hua could get close to Mo Qingyun, he was blocked by the seven-headed green serpent. The two once again clashed. While the seven-headed green serpent and Commander Hua were fighting, Huang Feng and Commander Hua were also locked in battle. Seeing this scene, Luo Yan's expression immediately turned grave. A trace of panic flashed in his eyes. The strength Mo Qingyun had just displayed was definitely not something that he and Mu Junting could contend against. Run! In his panic, all Luo Yan could think of now was to escape from this troublesome place as soon as possible. Then, Luo Yan ignored Mu Junting and immediately turned to flee toward the city lord's mansion. Get the hell back here! Seeing Luo Yan's escape, the corners of Mo Qingyun's mouth curled up slightly. He raised his hand and grabbed at Luo Yan. A thunderstorm of immortal spiritual energy rapidly gathered above Luo Yan and turned into a giant dragon claw. After the dragon claw was formed, it pressed down on Luo Yan with the force of a whirlwind. In the face of Mo Qingyun's claw, Luo Yan did not even have the ability to resist and was directly pressed to the ground by the dragon claw. Then, Luo Yan was forcibly brought to Mo Qingyun by the shadow of the dragon claw. This kid is too scary. Seeing Mo Qingyun's performance, Mu Junting, who was not far away, turned pale. He was stunned on the spot. He couldn't believe that the brat he had looked down on before had such terrifying strength. Luo Yan's strength at the third level of the Nine Heavens' profound immortal realm was simply as weak as an infant before Mo Qingyun. What do you want? Luo Yan was captured and brought in front of Mo Qingyun. He had a frightened expression on his face as he spoke in a panic. Mo Qingyun did not reply to Luo Xian's panicked words. He looked coldly at the two commanders and said, "Are the two of you still not going to stop? Do you really want me to kill him?" As Mo Qingyun spoke, he raised his left hand and clenched his fist, causing the dragon claw to clench even tighter. As the dragon claw clenched even tighter, Luo Yan's face turned even paler, and he seemed to have difficulty breathing. "Young lord." Commander Hua and Mu Junting immediately panicked when they saw Mo Qingyun's performance, and they stopped fighting with the seven-headed green flood dragon. The seven-headed green flood dragon and seven-headed green flood dragon returned to Mo Qingyun's side and helped Mo Qingyun guard against the people in the surroundings. As for Commander Hua and seven-headed green flood dragon, they flew to Mo Qingyun's side and confronted Mo Qingyun's group. "Little brother, let's talk nicely. It was all our fault earlier. Feel free to ask for any compensation you want." Commander Hua was afraid that Mo Qingyun would kill Luo Xian on the spot out of anger, so he immediately tried to curry favor with Mo Qingyun. While Commander Hua was trying to curry favor with Yi Shiwen, he did not forget to remind Commander Hua. He said telepathically, "Commander Hua, Mo Qingyun is Master Gu Yang's nephew. Go and inform Master Gu Yang immediately and ask him to persuade Mo Qingyun." "Okay, I'll go now." Hearing Commander Hua's words, Commander Hua did not dare to hesitate at all. He immediately went to find Master Gu Yang. As soon as Commander Hua left, a terrifying saint aura erupted from the city lord's mansion. Then, this powerful saint aura crushed toward Mo Qingyun and the other two. The city lord is here." Sensing this powerful saint aura, the surrounding people were all shocked, and their faces paled a little. Under everyone's shocked gazes, a white-haired elder slowly flew over, giving off an aura that made people want to kneel down and worship him. After a while, Roba-Tian came close to Imo-Chingyun. He looked at Imo-Chingyun indifferently and smiled. Mr. Imo, how did my son offend you? Why are you making such a big fuss here? As Luo-Batian spoke, the saintly aura he exuded increased slightly. Facing Roba-Tian's saint aura, Imo-Chingyun did not hold back anymore and immediately activated his saint body. Soon, a saint aura that was not weaker than Roba-Tian's erupted from Imo-Chingyun's body. Saint aura? Is he from the God clan, the genius of the Saint Aura clan, second on the 10,000 Archean tribes board? Luo-Batian frowned when he sensed Imo-Chingyun's saint aura. It was natural for him to have such thoughts. But soon, Roba-Tian shook his head and denied this thought. His expression turned to shock. Saint body. This kid's body is in the saint realm. What terrifying cultivation talent. While Luo-Batian was still in shock, the seven-headed green dragon and the yellow-winged old devil also released a powerful saint aura. Sensing the seven-headed green serpent's saint aura, Luo-Batian's expression changed again. He exclaimed, "His two followers also have a very solid saint aura. It seems that both of them have reached the saint realm before. Who is this kid? Is he really just Gu Yang's martial nephew?" At this moment, Roba-Tian truly took Imo-Chingyun seriously and began to question Imo-Chingyun's identity. In his opinion, it was impossible for Imo-Chingyun to have such talent just because he was Gu Yang's martial nephew. "Why are you making such a big fuss? City Lord, that's a good question." Facing Roba-Tian's question, Imo-Chingyun smiled faintly and grabbed at the air. He pulled Luo-Xian in front of him and said, "Let the young city lord answer this question. I'm sure you'll understand my feelings after hearing his answer." Hearing Imo-Chingyun's words, Luo-Xian's expression immediately darkened. He gritted his teeth and shouted, "Kid, you better know what's good for you and let me go. Then, give me the phoenix blood, celestial rock's blood, and perhaps I'll give you a quick death." "Young city lord, you don't seem to understand the situation. Your life is still in my hands." Seeing Luo-Xian's attitude, Imo-Chingyun chuckled, and his gaze gradually turned cold. Seeing Imo-Chingyun's cold eyes, Roba-Tian's heart skipped a beat and a strong sense of unease rose up. Chapter 1880. This kid's identity is very mysterious. I can't do anything to him for now. Let's ask Master Guyang first. Roba-Tian's mind spun quickly. He had a clear plan. He didn't want to act rashly against Imo-Chingyun. Imo-Chingyun gave him the feeling that his background was very powerful. He had to be careful when dealing with him. If he did something to Imo-Chingyun, the powerful force behind Imo-Chingyun would come to Cloud City for revenge. After all, Cloud City wasn't a top force in the immortal desolate realm. Roba-Tian's guess was right. Imo-Chingyun's background was very powerful, but it wasn't a force from the immortal realm. Luo-Batian made up his mind. His face darkened as he glared at Luo-Xian in displeasure and shouted, "Bastard, why don't you follow young Master Mo's instructions and tell us everything that happened?" As Roba-Tian shouted, he released a burst of saintly aura that crushed toward Luo-Yen. Under Roba-Tian's saintly aura, Luo-Yen immediately became obedient and began to tell the story. "Phoenix blood, celestial Peng's blood?" Hearing Luo-Yan's words, Roba-Tian's expression changed. His eyes kept darting around. Seeing Roba-Tian's reaction, he seemed to have a strong desire for the phoenix blood, celestial Peng's blood. But Roba-Tian was old and shrewd. He wasn't as impulsive as Luo-Yen. He immediately showed his emotions. Then Roba-Tian's face darkened as he listened to Luo-Yan's story. After Luo-Yen recounted the events to Luo-Batian in detail, Luo-Batian's face was filled with rage as he roared, "Evil creature, who gave you the guts to commit murder and plunder? What kind of place do you think our Cloud Heaven City is? Do you think it's the kind of mountain stronghold that takes over a mountain and robs people?" Father, hearing Luo Baishan's words, Luo Yan revealed a guilty expression, wanting to defend himself. Shut up. However, before Luo Xian could speak, he was interrupted by Luo Batian. Stopping Luo Xian's explanation, Luo Baishan's expression turned solemn as he said coldly, "Bastard, why aren't you kowtowing to young Master Mo and apologizing? Promise that you won't make the same mistake again." Hearing Luo Baishan's reprimand, Luo Yan immediately revealed an aggrieved expression, and a strong sense of unwillingness rose within him. Under Luo Baishan's cold gaze, Luo Yan finally gave in. With an unwilling and cold expression, he knelt down and said, "Young Master Mo, it was all my fault before. Please don't hold it against me. If you hold a grudge." Hearing Mo Qingyun Tian's words, Luo Yan immediately gritted his teeth. He felt humiliated. "Haha, Mr. Mo, don't worry. Luo Yan doesn't have the guts." Before Luo Yan could refute, Roba Tian laughed and comforted Mo Qingyun. "I promise you, before the Alchemy Master trial ends, as long as you are in Cloud Sky City, no one will dare to disrespect you. If anyone dares to do so, they are going against me, Roba Tian." "Thank you, Mayor." Hearing Roba Tian's words, Mo Qingyun didn't say anything else. He cupped his hands and thanked Roba Tian. At this moment, while Mo Qingyun and the others were talking, Gu Yang hurried over. "Greetings, Mayor." Gu Yang cupped his hands at Roba Tian, then looked at Mo Qingyun. When he saw Luo Yan kneeling in front of Mo Qingyun, his eyelids twitched. He quickly pleaded with Roba Tian, "Mayor, this must be a misunderstanding. Qingyun is young and immature. If he did anything disrespectful, please don't hold it against him." Seeing Gu Yang's actions, Roba Tian was stunned. He didn't react for a long time. The one in the wrong was Luo Yan. Why did Gu Yang apologize to him? Although surprised by Gu Yang's actions, Roba Tian smiled faintly and said, "Gu Yang, this is all Yen Er's fault. I have already discussed it with Mr. Mo." "That's good, that's good." Seeing Roba Tian's reaction, Gu Yang couldn't help but relax. He quickly gave Mo Qingyun a look and said, "Qingyun, since this is a misunderstanding, why don't you let the young mayor go?" "Okay." Hearing Gu Yang's words, Mo Qingyun didn't hold Luo Yan's captive. He let Luo Yan go. Since the matter had been resolved, it wouldn't be right for him to hold Luo Yan's captive. Now that Mo Qingyun let Luo Yan go, he became vigilant. He was worried that Roba Tian would suddenly make things difficult for him. Because if Roba Tian wanted to go back on his words, this was the best time to do it. What surprised Mo Qingyun was that Roba Tian didn't make a move even after Luo Yan returned to Roba Tian's side. "Mr. Mo, I have to take Yen back and teach him a lesson. I'll take my leave now." Seeing that Luo Yan had returned to his side, Roba Tian bid farewell to Mo Qingyun and left with Luo Yan. Seeing that Roba Tian had left with Luo Yan, Mu Junting didn't dare to stay any longer. He took advantage of the chaos to leave. "Master, Roba Tian is a scheming person. He doesn't show his emotions on his face. You have to be careful of him." Huang Feng's expression was solemn as he looked at Luo Baishan's back. He reminded Mo Qingyun. Mo Qingyun nodded when he heard Huang Feng's reminder. He became stern and said, "I sensed clear killing intent from him earlier. It looks like he's already wanted to kill me, but he's suppressing it for some reason." While Mo Qingyun and the other two were talking, Gu Yang flew over with a displeased expression and shouted, "Qingyun, you're too muddle-headed. If you still recognize me as your martial uncle, you'd better leave Cloud Sky City as soon as possible." "Why?" Hearing Gu Yang's words, Mo Qingyun was puzzled. He didn't understand why Gu Yang would say that. However, Mo Qingyun could tell that Gu Yang's words were to protect him. "Come with me." Hearing Mo Qingyun's question, Gu Yang didn't answer directly. Instead, he nodded to Mo Qingyun. Gu Yang's action was hinting to Emo Qingyun that there were too many people here. Understanding Gu Yang's hint, Emo Qingyun didn't ask any more questions and immediately left with Gu Yang. On the way back, Emo Qingyun and Gu Yang didn't speak a word until they reached Gu Yang's residence. When Gu Yang returned to his residence, he dismissed everyone and looked at Emo Qingyun with a serious expression. "Qingyun, what do you think of the city lord?" Hearing Gu Yang's words, Emo Qingyun didn't understand. After a moment of silence, he said, "His thoughts are deep, and he doesn't show his emotions on his face. He's a very powerful person." Chapter 1881. Since you know how powerful the city lord is, then all the more reason you should leave. Hearing Emo Qingyun's reply, Gu Yang had a look of disappointment on his face as he tried to persuade Emo Qingyun. "Qingyun, this old man feels like an old friend to you at first sight, so I really don't want to see you fall here. You should leave while the city lord is still unclear about your background." Hearing Gu Yang's persuasion, Emo Qingyun fell silent as he realized that he had underestimated Roba Tian. From Gu Yang's actions, it was clear that Roba Tian wasn't a simple person and wasn't as easygoing as he appeared to be. But if he left, he wouldn't have the chance to participate in the alchemist trial, which made him feel reluctant. Seeing Emo Qingyun's hesitation, Gu Yang became even more anxious and tried to persuade Emo Qingyun again. Ring ring ring, but before Gu Yang could say anything, an urgent voice suddenly rang out in the secret room. Hearing the sound of the communication bell, Gu Yang's expression immediately tightened as a look of worry appeared on his face. If this old master's guess is correct, the city lord must be summoning this old master to ask about your background. "Martial uncle, what do you plan to say?" Emo Qingyun's expression changed slightly as he asked Gu Yang for his opinion. "Since you've addressed me as martial uncle, I naturally cannot watch as you perish here." Hearing Emo Qingyun's question, Gu Yang fell silent for a moment before sighing. "This old man will try to hide it for you, but whether or not you can hide it will depend on your luck." "Many thanks, martial uncle." Emo Qingyun's face was filled with gratitude as he quickly cupped his hands towards Gu Yang. His impression of Gu Yang had greatly improved. He and Gu Yang had only met by chance, so for Gu Yang to do this, it was already extremely rare. Seeing Emo Qingyun's gesture of gratitude, Gu Yang waved his hand indifferently and opened the door to the secret room. Boom boom boom, as the door opened, Deacon Jiang appeared in front of the door and walked towards Gu Yang with a tense expression. "Lord Gu Yang, the city lord has summoned you. He has something important to discuss with you." Deacon Jiang came to Gu Yang's side and reported to him with a tense expression. At the same time, he couldn't help but glance at Emo Qingyun. The hidden meaning behind his actions could not be more obvious. This matter was definitely related to Emo Qingyun. "All right, I'll be right there." Hearing Deacon Jiang's report, Gu Yang didn't want to waste any more time and immediately walked out of the room. "Qingyun, this old master will be back soon. You stay here and do whatever you want." As soon as Gu Yang finished speaking, he rushed towards the city lord's mansion without looking back. "Martial uncle, take care." Looking at Gu Yang's back as he walked away, Emo Qingyun bowed respectfully to Gu Yang. As Emo Qingyun spoke, his gratitude towards Gu Yang grew even stronger. Gu Yang's last sentence seemed to be telling him not to be restrained, but in reality, he was hinting at him to leave Cloud Sky City as soon as he felt something was wrong. Understanding Gu Yang's hint, Emo Qingyun raised his guard and walked out of the room. "Mr. Emo, you're really something. You even dared to teach the city lord's son a lesson." Seeing Emo Qingyun walk out of the room, Deacon Jiang quickly followed him and gave Emo Qingyun a thumbs up. Hearing Deacon Jiang's words, Emo Qingyun calmly waved his hand and said, "You must be joking, Deacon Jiang. I'm not in trouble now. I'm always worried that the city lord will punish me." "Mr. Emo, you really know how to joke. If the city lord wanted to punish you, he wouldn't have waited until now. Hearing Emo Qingyun's words, Deacon Jiang laughed awkwardly, but his eyes kept flashing. Obviously, Deacon Jiang's words were not his true thoughts. Seeing Deacon Jiang's subtle actions, Emo Qingyun slightly narrowed his eyes and guessed Deacon Jiang's thoughts. He wasn't familiar with Deacon Jiang, and they hadn't even spoken a word before. Now, Deacon Jiang suddenly came over to show his goodwill. Wasn't this very strange? One had to know that Emo Qingyun had offended Luo Batian. Normal people would avoid him. But Deacon Jiang did the opposite, and took the initiative to show his goodwill at this time. It was hard to not think too much about his intentions. If I'm not wrong, Deacon Jiang is showing his goodwill to me because he wants to keep an eye on me. Emo Qingyun's heart moved, and he roughly guessed Deacon Jiang's intentions. He smiled meaningfully and said, Deacon Jiang, you don't have to accompany me all the time. Just do what you need to do. I'll just walk around by myself. Okay, if you need anything, just let me know. Hearing Emo Qingyun's order to leave, Deacon Jiang couldn't continue to follow him, so he smiled awkwardly and left. Seeing Deacon Jiang leave, Emo Qingyun didn't let his guard down, and released his soul force to secretly observe. Under Emo Qingyun's secret observation, he found that Deacon Jiang's attention was always on him. So it's true. Seeing Deacon Jiang's actions, Emo Qingyun sneered, and felt some disdain for Deacon Jiang. Emo Qingyun muttered to himself, then he used concealment door and hid his body. If he wasn't wrong, Deacon Jiang was now secretly monitoring him, and it was most likely Roba Tian's orders. In this case, Gu Yang's guess was right. Roba Tian wouldn't let this matter go, and indeed wanted to kill him. Should I leave? After concealing himself, Emo Qingyun thought about whether he should leave or stay. After some hesitation, Emo Qingyun decided to stay, and wait until the alchemist trial ended. In the city lord's mansion. Father, why didn't you just kill that kid? Why did you make me kowtow to him? Luo Xian sat in the main hall of the city lord's mansion, venting his dissatisfaction to Luo Batian with an indignant look. Hearing Luo Yan's words, Roba Tian looked like he expected better from Luo Yan. He stared at Luo Yan sternly and said, How many times have I told you, don't be too rash and impulsive? Have you ever listened carefully? You're too weak compared to Emo Qingyun. How can he compare to me? I was just careless this time. Hearing Roba Tian's evaluation, Luo Yan was even more unconvinced, and he had a disapproving attitude. Luo Batian was extremely disappointed when he saw Luo Xian's reaction. He shouted angrily, Bastard, haven't you ever thought about why you were captured by Emo Qingyun even though you were in the right place at the right time? I underestimated him. Luo Yan was at a loss for words, and he mumbled awkwardly. So you still know that you underestimated him? Roba Tian shook his head, still looking disappointed, and said, Yen the wasteland continent is very big, and there are many powerful people there. Our Cloud Heaven City is just a small place, and you can't stay here forever. You have to change your arrogance. Chapter 1882. The reason why I want you to kowtow and admit your mistake is because I want you to remember today's humiliation and never underestimate anyone in the future. Roba Tian looked at the silent Luo Yan and sincerely consoled him to show his sincerity. Father, I know I was wrong. After hearing Roba Tian's words, Luo Yan showed a remorseful expression and admitted his mistake to Roba Tian. No matter what, I will make sure that Emo Qingyun dies without a complete corpse. Don't worry, that kid won't be able to escape. Roba Tian nodded and didn't deny Luo Yan's thoughts. He comforted Luo Yan and said, That kid's talent is extraordinary, his background shouldn't be as simple as it seems. Let's listen to what Elder Gu Yang has to say. Luo Yan nodded in agreement after hearing Roba Tian's words and waited for Gu Yang's arrival with a gloomy expression. Not long after, Gu Yang was led by a guard to the city lord mansion's meeting hall. Greetings, City Lord, young City Lord. Seeing Luo Batian and Luo Yan in the hall, Gu Yang showed a respectful expression and bowed to the two of them. Perhaps because of Mo Qingyun, Luo Yan's expression didn't look too good when he saw Gu Yang in the center of the hall. Compared to Luo Yan's attitude, Roba Tian was much more easygoing. He smiled and waved his hand at Gu Yang. Elder Gu Yang, there's no need to be so polite. Let's sit down and talk. Okay. Gu Yang nodded and sat down opposite Luo Yan. When Luo Batian saw that Gu Yang had taken a seat, a faint smile appeared on his face as he said, Sinecure Gu Yang, I already know the details of what happened between Yan and young Master Mo. Yan has indeed gone overboard, and I have already severely reprimanded him. Hearing Luo Batian's words, Luo Yan immediately puffed up his cheeks in anger and looked unhappy. Seeing Luo Yan's expression, Gu Yang smiled faintly and quickly explained to Roba Tian. Qingyun was a little reckless. Even if he had a quarrel with the young city lord, he shouldn't have attacked the young city lord. Yan has always been naughty and mischievous since he was young. It's good that Mr. Mo taught him a lesson and let him know that there's always someone better. Luo Batian hurriedly waved his hand. He didn't blame Mo Qingyun at all, showing that he was very magnanimous. Hearing Luo Batian's words, Gu Yang's frown deepened. He didn't think that Luo Batian really had such thoughts. In his opinion, Luo Batian's current actions were a form of retreat in order to advance. Sure enough, just as Gu Yang expected, Luo Batian expressed his apologies. Elder Gu Yang, you and I have known each other for millions of years, let's not hide anything from each other. Tell me the truth about young Master Mo's identity. As soon as Luo Batian finished speaking, he released a surge of Saint's aura and pressed down on Gu Yang. He was warning Gu Yang not to play any more tricks with him. After all, there was no way he could protect Mo Qingyun. This, under the pressure of Roba Tian's aura, Gu Yang's heart skipped a beat and he felt a strong sense of uneasiness. What was to come would come in the end. Gu Yang was silent for a moment. Then, with a solemn expression on his face, he said, City Lord, this old man doesn't dare to hide anything from you. Qingyun once received the inheritance of one of my senior brothers, so he can be considered as my junior nephew. However, I know nothing about him. So that's how it is. Roba Tian's eyes flashed and his face turned cold. He said coldly, So, you have never met Mr. Mo before this? That's right. Gu Yang calmly nodded at Luo Batian and Luo Feng. Seeing Gu Yang's action, Luo Yan couldn't hold back his anger. He said angrily, Old man Gu Yang, you're lying. You're clearly, Yan don't be rude. Luo Batian's face darkened when he saw Luo Xian's actions. He immediately roared at him, Did you forget what I told you just now? You have to stay calm in the face of trouble. Elder Gu Yang has known us for so long, we have to trust his words. Thank you, City Lord. Gu Yang stood up and cupped his hands in gratitude when he heard Roba Tian's words. No need to be so polite, Elder Gu Yang. Roba Tian waved his hand and pointed at a chair for Gu Yang to sit down. He said, Elder Gu Yang, you and I have known each other for so many years, I have something to say, but I'm not sure if I should say it. City Lord, please speak. Gu Yang looked at Roba Tian curiously. Receiving Gu Yang's gaze, Luo Batian didn't try to hide anything. Elder Gu Yang, this young Master Mo has a mysterious background. Since he claimed to be your junior nephew, I think you should go and verify his identity. Thank you for the reminder, City Lord. I will go and verify it later. Gu Yang nodded seriously at Roba Tian's suggestion. He didn't change his expression. He knew Mo Qingyun's identity better than anyone else. Why would he need to verify it? Roba Tian nodded with satisfaction at Gu Yang's reaction. He smiled and said, Elder Gu Yang, this is just a guess. Don't let this cause a rift between you and Mr. Mo. I know what to do. Gu Yang nodded. He still didn't show any emotion. Haha, that's good, that's good. Robotion nodded with a fake smile and said, "Since this matter is over, please go back and tell Mr. Mo not to take it to heart. Tell him to attend the alchemy test for us." Following that, Luo Batian and the others pretended to be obedient but secretly opposed, chatting with each other. After about half an hour, Robotion saw that he couldn't get anything out of Guyang, so he asked Guyang to leave. This old bastard is obviously covering up for Mo Qingyun and hiding Mo Qingyun's true identity. Seeing Guyang leave, Luo Yan's face immediately turned gloomy and he said angrily, "If it wasn't for his alchemy skills, I would have killed him as well." "Shut up." Hearing Luo Yan's words, Luo Batian immediately reprimanded him. Gu Yang's cultivation might not be high, but he's an 8-star alchemist. His status isn't inferior to that of a saint stage cultivator. If what you said just now reaches Gu Yang's ears, even I might not be able to save your life. I know I was wrong. Luo Yan's body trembled and his face turned pale when he heard Robotion's words. He was so angry that he lost his mind and wanted to kill Gu Yang. Seeing the change in Luo Yan's expression, the corner of Luo Batian's mouth rose slightly as he sneered. Since Gu Yang is so protective of that brat, there must be some secret behind it. Perhaps we can start with Gu Yang and slowly find out what that brat is. Luo Yan's eyes lit up when he heard Robotion's words. He asked with a puzzled expression, "Father, do you really plan to let Mo Qingyun represent us in the alchemy test?" "That's right." In response to Luo Xian's question, Luo Batian didn't hide anything and nodded. That kid's alchemy skills are pretty good. If he participates in the alchemy trials, he might be able to get into the top 10. "Father, are you planning to slowly deal with him after the alchemy test is over?" Luo Yan's eyes lit up when he heard Robotion's words. He could guess what Robotion was thinking. Luo Yan looked at Robotion with admiration. "Father, you're the best. Even if you have to kill that kid, you have to use him to his fullest potential." Robotion didn't deny Luo Yan's words. Obviously, that was what he was thinking. While Robotion and Gu Yang were talking, Gu Yang returned to his residence and started looking for Mo Qingyun. "Lord Gu Yang, are you looking for Mr. Mo?" Seeing Gu Yang's actions, Deacon Jiang asked with a curious expression. "That's right." Hearing Deacon Jiang's words, Gu Yang didn't hide anything and asked, "Deacon Jiang, have you seen Qingyun? Do you know where he went?" "I don't know. I left not long after you left." Under Gu Yang's questioning, Deacon Jiang lied and hid the truth from Gu Yang. "You can leave for now." Gu Yang didn't ask any more questions after hearing Deacon Jiang's answer. He waved his hand at Deacon Jiang. Gu Yang signaled Deacon Jiang to leave, and returned to the secret room to see if Mo Qingyun was there. Soon, Gu Yang returned to the secret room, but there was still no sign of Mo Qingyun. Did Qingyun leave Cloud Sky City? Gu Yang naturally thought that Mo Qingyun might have left since he still couldn't find Mo Qingyun. After all, it was too dangerous for Mo Qingyun to stay in Cloud Sky City. It was normal for him to leave. "Martial uncle, you're back." While Gu Yang was muttering to himself, a voice entered his mind, causing him to be shocked. Hearing the voice in his mind, Gu Yang turned around and asked in surprise, "Qingyun, is that you?" Gu Yang didn't forget to close the door to the secret room to prevent others from eavesdropping on their conversation. When Gu Yang closed the door to the secret room, Mo Qingyun's figure slowly appeared in front of him. "Qingyun, you!" Gu Yang's eyes widened in disbelief when he saw Mo Qingyun suddenly appear. Just now, he had clearly sensed the secret room carefully and hadn't discovered Mo Qingyun's existence. Now that Mo Qingyun had appeared, it was too strange. "Martial uncle, don't be surprised. It's just a concealment technique." Seeing Gu Yang's surprised expression, Mo Qingyun smiled indifferently and gave a simple explanation. "Martial uncle, what did Luo Batian and Luo Yun talk about?" "They didn't say much, they just asked about your identity. I brushed them all off." Deacon Gu Yang didn't hide anything from Emo Qingyun and replied truthfully. His brows furrowed, however. Roba and Tian still hope that you can represent Cloud Sky City in the alchemist trials. What are your plans? They still hope that I can participate in the alchemist trials? Chapter 1883. That works too. Hearing Emo Qingyun's idea, Gu Yang nodded in agreement. His expression turned serious as he said, "The city lord must have a special reason for letting you participate in the alchemist trial. Once the trial is over, I'm afraid your situation will become even more dangerous. If that's the case, then I'll just have to deal with whatever comes my way." Emo Qingyun didn't deny Gu Yang's conjecture and immediately had a plan in mind. No matter how dangerous the situation was, he had to participate in the alchemist trial. It was too difficult to obtain Saint blood. Since such an opportunity had presented itself, he couldn't easily give it up. Even if he didn't need the Saint blood, he could still use it to exchange for other Saint blood. More importantly, he still hadn't obtained the Nirvana creation pill recipe from Roba Tian, so he naturally couldn't leave so easily. I got it. Gu Yang's eyes suddenly lit up, and a surprised smile appeared on his face as he excitedly said, "There's still a month until the alchemist trial. I'll take you to see someone now. If you can obtain his guidance, not only will your alchemy ability soar, but your safety will also be guaranteed." Hearing Gu Yang's words, Emo Qingyun's curiosity was piqued, and his interest was piqued. Without waiting for Emo Qingyun to ask, Gu Yang opened the door of the secret room and said to Emo Qingyun, "Qingyun, wait here for a moment. Once I'm done with some matters, I'll take you to see that senior." After Gu Yang finished speaking, he walked out of the secret room and left to deal with some trivial matters. About a quarter of an hour later, Gu Yang returned to the secret room and nodded to Emo Qingyun. "Everything is ready. Let's set off now." After leaving some instructions to Emo Qingyun, Gu Yang led the way into a spacious courtyard. In the courtyard there was an ancient flying boat, similar to the flying boat of the Divine Boat Clan. The flying boat of the Divine Boat Clan? Seeing the flying boat in the courtyard, Emo Qingyun's expression was slightly startled as he exclaimed in surprise. Hearing Emo Qingyun's words, Gu Yang smiled awkwardly and said, "This isn't a flying boat refined by the Divine Boat Clan. This is a replica of the Divine Boat Clan's flying boat made by a divine craftsman friend of mine." "So that's how it is, no wonder it looks so familiar." After listening to Gu Yang's explanation, a look of understanding appeared on Emo Qingyun's face as he finally had an answer to his doubts. Although Emo Qingyun's words were spoken calmly, they were like thunder in Gu Yang's ears. You've seen the Flying Boat Clan's Flying Divine Boat Clan?" Gu Yang say, "The Divine Boat Clan's Flying Boat of the Divine Boat Clan's Flying Boat of the Divine Boat Clan." Seeing the shock on Gu Yang's face, Emo Qingyun was puzzled and asked, "Uncle Master, although the flying boat of the Divine Boat Clan is rare, it doesn't seem strange that I've seen it once, does it? Brat, it seems like you don't know how precious the flying boat of the Divine Boat Clan is." Gu Yang immediately glared at Emo Qingyun and said, "Before the immortal race came to the wasteland continent, the Divine Boat Clan had already disappeared for a long time. The flying boats they left behind all fell into the hands of the immortal race. Now, the number of flying boats in the immortal race's hands can be counted with 2 hands. Don't you think this is surprising? So that's how it is." Emo Qingyun showed a look of understanding as he roughly understood the situation. The immortal race hadn't been on the wasteland continent for long. Therefore, the immortal race basically didn't have any flying boats left behind by the Divine Boat Clan. It was because of this that the flying boats of the Divine Boat Clan were so precious in the eyes of the immortal race. "Quick, tell me in detail about the flying ship you saw." Gu Yang had an anxious look on his face as he hurriedly urged Emo Qingyun, "If you tell this information to Iron Hammer, he will definitely be able to forge an even more perfect flying boat." Emo Qingyun was speechless when he saw Gu Yang's expression. He smiled bitterly and said, "Martial uncle, there's no need to go through so much trouble. If your friend wants to see it, I can let him see it to his heart's content." See it to his heart's content? What do you mean? Gu Yang was stunned. He didn't know how to react to Emo Qingyun's words for a long time. Gu Yang knew that the flying boats of the Divine Boat Clan were too precious. There was no way Emo Qingyun would be in possession of one. Seeing Gu Yang's confused expression, Emo Qingyun didn't want to explain and directly took out the flying boat. The sudden appearance of a huge flying boat shocked Gu Yang. Then Gu Yang's eyes widened. This is. Gu Yang pointed a finger at the flying ship as he froze on the spot, unable to believe what he was seeing. Emo Qingyun actually had a flying boat of the Divine Boat Clan. This was too unbelievable. You little brat, you're becoming more and more unfathomable." Carefully sizing up Emo Qingyun, Gu Yang stuttered for a long time, but he didn't say anything wrong. Looking at the shocked and depressed Gu Yang, Emo Qingyun smiled faintly and waved to Gu Yang. "Martial uncle, time is of the essence. Let's use my flying boat. This way we can see that senior faster." No. Emo Qingyun's words were immediately rejected by Gu Yang. He said solemnly, "The flying boats of the Divine Boat Clan are too rare. With the strength of the two of us, if we use it to travel, we will definitely be killed if we encounter any expert." So serious? Hearing Gu Yang's words, Emo Qingyun's heart skipped a beat. He couldn't help but feel a trace of fear. When he first came to the immortal desolate domain, Huang Feng was the one driving the flying boat. If what Gu Yang said was true, then they would have been in constant danger along the way. Fortunately, Cloud Sky City was located at the edge of the immortal desolate domain. There weren't many experts around. "You don't know." Seeing Emo Qingyun's shocked expression, Gu Yang's expression turned serious. He began to explain to Emo Qingyun, "The wild continent is too vast. Even a saint would need a lot of time to cross it, let alone someone with a lower cultivation. Many sects are desperately looking for transportation to increase their speed." So that's how it is. After listening to Gu Yang's explanation, Emo Qingyun immediately understood the importance of transportation to the immortal race. Understanding Gu Yang's words, Emo Qingyun didn't insist and put away the flying boat of the Divine Boat Clan. Following that, Emo Qingyun and Gu Yang rode on Gu Yang's flying boat as they continued their journey. Although it was slower this way, the journey was safer and they could avoid many unnecessary troubles. "Martial uncle, what kind of person is the senior you brought me to visit?" Along the way, Emo Qingyun had a curious expression on his face as he took the initiative to ask Gu Yang. Hearing Emo Qingyun's question, Gu Yang didn't hide anything and said, "This senior is a legendary figure in the immortal race. He was obsessed with alchemy his entire life and created countless lost divine pills. However, his personality is eccentric and temperamental, so he is called the Pill Demon." Pill Demon. Hearing Gu Yang's words, Emo Qingyun's expression turned solemn as he tried to guess what kind of person the Pill Devil was. He thought to himself, to be called that, his alchemy skills must have reached the pinnacle. Gu Yang put on a mysterious smile when he saw the yearning on Emo Qingyun's face. A hint of pride appeared on his face as he said, "Speaking of which, I only managed to become an 8-star celestial alchemist because of Senior Pill Devil's guidance. However, Senior Pill Devil said that my aptitude was too poor and that becoming a 9-star celestial alchemist was my limit." "You can become a 9-star celestial alchemist, but he said your talent was too poor?" Hearing Gu Yang's words, Emo Qingyun was shocked. He couldn't help but guess. Could it be that Senior Pill Demon's alchemy skills have reached the 10-star celestial alchemist level? Hearing Emo Qingyun's words, Gu Yang smiled bitterly and shook his head. His eyes flashed with admiration as he said, Senior Pill Demon's alchemy skills have already surpassed the limit of celestial alchemists and reached an even higher level. Surpassed the limit of celestial alchemists. Mo Qingyun was shocked again, and his curiosity about the Pill Demon grew even stronger. However, while Mo Qingyun was curious, he also had some misgivings. He was worried that his secret would be seen through by the Pill Devil. One had to know that people at the level of the Pill Devil had extremely terrifying perception. However, it was too late for him to regret it now. Forget it, I'll just take things as they come. Mo Qingyun sighed and comforted himself. Seeing Mo Qingyun's serious expression, Gu Yang immediately asked with concern, "Qingyun, what's wrong?" Hearing Gu Yang's question, Mo Qingyun's expression changed. He quickly replied, "Nothing, I'm just worried that if Senior Pill Demon doesn't want to teach me, how can I change his mind? I'm very glad that you have such thoughts." Hearing Mo Qingyun's answer, Gu Yang nodded in appreciation, revealing a gratified expression as he said, "Don't worry too much about it. Whether or not you can obtain Senior Pill Devil's guidance completely depends on your own luck. This kind of thing cannot be forced." "I understand." After Gu Yang's words of comfort, Mo Qingyun's heart relaxed and didn't think too much about it. Meeting the Pill Demon was an opportunity for him. Although it was dangerous, it was also a very normal thing. As the saying goes, wealth comes from danger. If you don't enter the tiger's den, you won't get the tiger cub. It's useless to think about it now. Let nature take its course. Perhaps there will be an unexpected harvest. Next, Mo Qingyun and Gu Yang chatted as they went to the Pill Demon's residence. The Pill Demon's residence wasn't very far from Cloud Sky City. Mo Qingyun and Gu Yang hurried for 2 days before they arrived in front of a cave. This was the Pill Demon's residence. Chapter 1884. Not long after Gu Yang finished speaking, a condensed black mist of saint aura began to spread out from the cavern. Sensing this powerful saint's aura, Mo Qingyun's expression changed, and a sense of awe rose in his heart. He had also witnessed the might of a saint realm expert. But none of them could compare to this saint's aura. To be more precise, the saint's aura released by others was on a completely different level compared to this saint's aura. Whether it was Tenchu's saint's aura, Qian Linglong's saint's aura, or Roba Tian's saint's aura, they were all formless. However, the saint might in front of him was in a material form, like a black cloud. Following behind the powerful black mist-like saint might, a skinny old man in black slowly walked out of the cave residence. This old man must be the Pill Devil. Seeing the old man in black walk out of the cave, Mo Qingyun's expression changed, and he unconsciously released his soul power to sense. Mo Qingyun sensed that the old man's aura was very weak, as if he was not there at all. If Mo Qingyun did not know better, he might have mistakenly thought that this was an ordinary old man. So strong, even stronger than Senior Gu Yang described. Seeing the old man in black in front of him, Mo Qingyun's heart skipped a beat, and he tensed up. The stronger the Pill Devil was, the more likely it would be for him to see through his secret. Disciple Gu Yang greets Senior Pill Devil. While Mo Qingyun was worried, Gu Yang bowed respectfully to the old man in black. Upon seeing Gu Yang's actions, the black-robed old man waved his hand casually and asked impatiently, "Brat, why are you here again? Didn't I tell you clearly that the limit of your talent in alchemy is a 9-star celestial alchemist? No matter how much I teach you, it's useless." Hearing the Pill Demon's words, Gu Yang's expression suddenly became awkward as he smiled awkwardly. "Senior, Junior didn't come looking for you this time to ask for pointers in alchemy, but rather to show Senior my martial nephew's talent in alchemy. Are you talking about this kid?" Hearing Gu Yang's words, the Pill Demon finally noticed Mo Qingyun and looked at Mo Qingyun with disinterest. The Pill Demon lazily glanced at Mo Qingyun. He was shocked and said, This kid's bone age is less than 100 years. No, it's not even 50 years old. The more the pill demon looked, the more shocked he became. His expression became more and more agitated. He looked like a madman. No less than 50 years. Hearing the pill demon's words, Gu Yang felt as if a bomb had exploded in his head. When he first observed Emo Qingyun, he discovered that Emo Qingyun's bone age was very young, but he was only certain that it was within 1,000 years. Who would have thought that Emo Qingyun's true bone age was not even 50 years old? He had only cultivated for less than 50 years, but not only had his cultivation base reached the perfected golden immortal stage, but he had also become a 5-star immortal alchemist. What kind of cultivation speed was this? Gu Yang could not fathom it at all. Before Gu Yang could recover from his shock, the pill demon spoke again. This is the fire of civilization. This kid actually drew the fire of civilization into his body. What a monster! Senior, is my martial nephew's talent worthy of your guidance? Looking at the excited pill devil, Gu Yang became nervous and carefully asked the pill devil. Hearing Gu Yang's question, the pill demon's expression darkened. He put on a displeased expression and said, "Nonsense, this kid is this old man's disciple. Why wouldn't this old man teach him alchemy?" Disciple? Hearing the pill demon's words, Gu Yang was dumbfounded. He couldn't wrap his head around it. How did Emo Qingyun become the pill demon's disciple in the blink of an eye? Before Gu Yang and Emo Qingyun could recover from their shock, the pill demon's expression turned solemn as he glared fiercely at Gu Yang. Also, this brat will be my disciple from now on, you can no longer be his martial uncle. Then what am I supposed to be? Gu Yang was even more depressed, but he didn't dare to show it. He could only ask carefully. The pill demon's words weren't wrong. If Emo Qingyun was the pill demon's disciple, then Gu Yang would be Emo Qingyun's martial uncle. This way, Gu Yang and the pill demon would be of the same generation. This seemed a little inappropriate. Hearing Gu Yang's question, the pill demon pondered for a moment and said, "You can barely be considered this old man's disciple. This kid will be this old man's last disciple. So, he is your little senior brother. You can call him little senior brother from now on." Hearing the pill demon's words, Gu Yang wanted to cry but had no tears. He wanted to find a piece of tofu and kill himself. Originally, he thought that the worst-case scenario would be him becoming Emo Qingyun's senior brother. In the end, he was greatly disappointed. Emo Qingyun had actually become his senior brother. This was too much of a bully. Although he was very depressed, Gu Yang didn't express any dissatisfaction. In his view, as long as the pill demon was willing to guide Emo Qingyun, he didn't mind suffering a little. "Kid, come with me." Ignoring the depressed Gu Yang, the pill demon beckoned to Emo Qingyun and turned to walk into the cave. Seeing the pill demon's action, Emo Qingyun was stunned and looked at Gu Yang with a questioning gaze. The current situation was completely beyond his expectations. Although he thought that his talent in alchemy was good, he didn't expect that the pill demon would value him so much. While Emo Qingyun was surprised, he was also worried. He was worried that the elixir demon had other intentions. He was afraid that the pill demon valued him so much because he had discovered the gate of good fortune and had other ideas about it. Emo Qingyun couldn't be blamed for thinking so. After all, this was the first time he met the pill demon. It was hard to know what was in a person's heart. Go in. You're lucky to be valued by the pill demon. Seeing Emo Qingyun's gaze, Gu Yang didn't have the slightest envy and calmly said to Emo Qingyun. Then, Gu Yang and Emo Qingyun walked into the pill demon's cave. The interior of the pill demon's cave was very large. It was like an independent small world. There were mountains, rivers, and all kinds of birds and beasts. If it weren't for the small space, everything here would be no different from a continent. Gu Yang had studied under the pill devil before, so he was very familiar with the layout of the cave. He walked around the cave with ease. Under Gu Yang's lead, the two quickly arrived at a volcano and saw the pill demon sitting cross-legged there. "Kid, come sit beside this old man." Seeing Emo Chingyun approaching, the pill demon beckoned to Emo Chingyun, as if he was going to guide Emo Chingyun in alchemy. Seeing the pill devil's action, Emo Chingyun didn't think much and directly walked over. In Emo Chingyun's opinion, if the pill demon really wanted to harm him, he wouldn't have the slightest ability to resist. Chapter 1885. Little guy, this is the recipe for a 2-star celestial pill. Try refining it. Seeing Emo Chingyun come to his side, the pill devil took out a scroll made of beast skin and handed it to Emo Chingyun. After handing the pill recipe to Emo Chingyun, the pill demon took out a storage ring and said, "Inside this ring are the materials for refining pills. You can choose some of them and let this old man see how your foundation is." Refining a 2-star celestial pill? Testing my foundation? Emo Chingyun was dumbfounded by the pill devil's words. He didn't know what to say. According to Gu Yang, he was already a peak 5-star celestial alchemist. Could a 2-star celestial pill be tested? Seeing the pill devil's actions, not only was Emo Chingyun depressed, but Gu Yang was also depressed. The pill devil wanted a 2-star celestial alchemist to be tested as a 6-star celestial alchemist. "Senior, please wait a moment." After calming himself down, Gu Yang no longer hesitated and quickly interrupted the pill demon. Hearing Gu Yang's words, the pill demon frowned slightly, and a puzzled expression appeared on his face. "Brat Gu, are you interrupting me because you think a 2-star celestial pill is too difficult and you want this brat to refine a 1-star celestial pill? A 1-star celestial pill?" Emo Chingyun and Gu Yang were dumbfounded. They felt even more depressed. They didn't understand why the pill devil would think that Emo Chingyun's alchemy skills were so bad. In fact, they couldn't blame the pill devil. Emo Chingyun was too young. It was already very difficult for Emo Chingyun to reach the golden celestial stage of the great all-embracing heaven at his age. Not to mention, he had already reached the 2-star celestial alchemist level. Can he not even refine a 1-star celestial pill? Can he only refine some top-grade spirit pills? Seeing Gu Yang's gloomy expression, the pill devil lowered his demands again. He scolded, "Little Gu, what are you doing? Such a good alchemy genius, you actually didn't give him any pointers at all?" "Senior, Hearing the pill devil's reprimand, Gu Yang wanted to cry, but no tears came out. Did he not teach Emo Chingyun? He and Emo Chingyun had only known each other for a few days. Even if he wanted to teach him, he didn't have the chance. Moreover, with Emo Chingyun's pill refining ability, he also could not teach anything. Seeing Gu Yang's gloomy expression, Emo Chingyun couldn't help but feel sorry for him. "Senior, I should be at the pinnacle of 5-star alchemy. You can use a 5-star divine pill to test me." 5-star immortal pills. Hearing Emo Chingyun's words, the pill devil's eyes immediately widened. He was completely stunned on the spot. It had to be said that Emo Chingyun's words had given him too much shock. A person with a bone age of less than 50 years had not only reached the perfected golden celestial stage, but he was also a 5-star immortal alchemist. Even though he had lived for so many years, he had never met one. Monster, a peerless monster. After calming down, the pill devil couldn't help but sigh. He couldn't wait to take out another pill formula. This is the formula for the exalted Golden Sun Immortal Pill. It can be considered a common 5-star divine pill. Try to refine it. As soon as the pill devil finished speaking, he took out some ingredients for Emo Chingyun to refine the pill. "Okay." After receiving the pill recipe from the pill devil, Emo Chingyun didn't say much and began to examine the pill recipe seriously. Seeing Emo Chingyun's actions, the pill devil and Gu Yang did not disturb him. They watched silently from the side. Time slowly passed. After about 4 hours, Emo Chingyun stopped looking at the pill formula and organized the ingredient. After everything was ready, Mo Qingyun took out the 9 cranes returning cauldron and began to refine the exalted golden sun immortal pill. Bang! A pure spiritual flame was injected into the cauldron by Mo Qingyun, raising the temperature of the cauldron. After injecting the spiritual flame into the cauldron, Mo Qingyun immediately formed a hand seal and pointed at the ingredient. Following that, these alchemy materials became sparkling and translucent like raindrops, as if each and every one of them was a living fish. The fish-like ingredients jumped on the ground a few times and jumped into the cauldron. After sending the ingredients into the cauldron, Mo Qingyun's movements did not stop. He quickly formed a few more hand seals. Mo Qingyun completed this series of actions in one breath, as natural as flowing water. Not bad, not bad. Seeing Mo Qingyun's performance, the pill devil nodded approvingly. A satisfied smile appeared on his face. He said, although the grade of his alchemy techniques is not high, each one of them is extremely solid. He has comprehended the essence of alchemy technique. It seems that he has put in a lot of effort to practice them. Hearing the pill devil's praises, Gu Yang nodded his head in agreement. He had already noticed this before. The pill devil praised silently. He did not say anything else and continued to watch Mo Qingyun refine the pills. Under the pill devil and Gu Yang's observation, Mo Qingyun was completely focused on refining the pills. Under Mo Qingyun's concentrated efforts, the various alchemy materials were purified and transformed into pure medicinal liquid. After the medicinal liquid was formed, Mo Qingyun immediately used a method to solidify and fuse them. Time passed by little. After an unknown amount of time, a strong pill fragrance came from the cauldron. At the same time, a strange scene appeared in the sky above the pill cauldron. In this scene, there was a dazzling golden sun that was evolving into a golden light wheel. When this golden light wheel appeared, it was as if it was real, giving people a strong sense of oppression. The elixir image transformation. Good, very good. The pill devil was pleasantly surprised when he saw the elixir image above the cauldron. He clapped his hands and praised Mo Qingyun. It seems that we have underestimated this kid's alchemy ability. He already has the ability of a 6-star celestial alchemist. With my guidance, he should be able to become a 7-star celestial alchemist. 7 stars. Gu Yang's heart skipped a beat when he heard the pill devil's words. His face was filled with shock. Although he had asked Mo Qingyun to try refining a 6-star celestial pill in Cloud Heaven City, he was not confident at all. Now that the pill devil had said that Mo Qingyun could become a 7-star celestial alchemist, Gu Yang could not believe it. Seeing Gu Yang's shocked expression, the pill devil smiled meaningfully and said, "Kid Gu, this is the difference between people. This kid has a great treasure that has yet to be discovered." Great treasure? Gu Yang was puzzled. He thought quickly and said in surprise, "Senior, you mean to say that you intend to teach little Senior how to refine pills with the fire of civilization?" "That's right." Seeing that Gu Yang had guessed his thoughts, the pill devil nodded with satisfaction and said, "The fire of civilization is also known as the origin fire. This kind of flame has endless uses. Using it to refine pills or forge weapons will give you a unique advantage." Chapter 1886. Master, the elixir is ready. Please take a look. Mo Qingyun came to the pill devil and handed the elixir he had refined to him. This time, the elixir refinement was mainly to test his basic skills, so he did not refine the tribulation elixir. Taking the elixir from Mo Qingyun, the pill devil's expression became serious. He carefully examined the elixir refined by Mo Qingyun. After carefully examining the elixir, the pill devil nodded with satisfaction and commented, "Very good. Some of the things that should be paid attention to have been handled very well. There is no problem with your basic skills." While the pill devil was commenting, Gu Yang beside him nodded continuously, expressing his agreement with the Pill Devil. Since there is no problem with your basic skills, let's not waste any more time. I will teach you how to use the fire of civilization right away. After commenting on Mo Qingyun's elixir, the Pill Devil did not beat around the bush and took out a huge red cauldron. The huge red cauldron emitted a terrifying heat wave as soon as it was taken out, which forced Mo Qingyun to step back. The cauldron gave Mo Qingyun the feeling that it was an ancient flame beast. I have sealed the soul of a golden crow in this cauldron, so it can create its own flame to refine elixirs. While Mo Qingyun was still in shock, the Pill Devil explained. He quickly made a hand seal and shouted, "Seal." The hand seal landed on the cauldron and released a green light, which sealed the heat wave emitted from the cauldron. Mo Qingyun was not surprised by the Pill Devil's action. Now that the Pill Devil was teaching him how to refine elixirs with the fire of civilization, the flame derived from the cauldron naturally had to be sealed. Otherwise, the flame would conflict with the fire of civilization, which would cause the effect of refining elixirs to be poor. Rise. After sealing the flame derived from the cauldron, the Pill Devil made another hand seal and activated the fire of civilization in his body. Soon, a flame that seemed to be full of life began to gather in the Pill Devil's palm. As soon as the flame appeared, it kept pulsating, as if it was a beating heart. After igniting the fire of civilization in his body, the Pill Devil did not waste any more time and immediately sent the flame into the pill cauldron. As the fire of civilization entered the cauldron, it was as if the cauldron had a life of its own. All of a sudden, it gained a lot of spirituality. Withdraw. After completing these steps, the Pill Devil did not continue. He put away the fire of civilization in the pill cauldron. After putting away the fire of civilization in the cauldron, the Pill Demon turned to Mo Qingyun and said in a deep voice, "Little guy, follow what I just taught you and trigger the fire of civilization in your body." "Alright." Hearing Pill Devil's words, Mo Qingyun did not hesitate and immediately sat down cross-legged to try. Mo Qingyun sat on the ground and focused his mind. Imitating the Pill Devil, he quickly formed a hand seal. Rise. As soon as the hand seal was formed, a layer of flame appeared outside Mo Qingyun's body, pulsating continuously. This flame seemed to have a consciousness. It played outside Mo Qingyun's body, but did not converge on Mo Qingyun's palm. Seeing this, Mo Qingyun frowned and his face was full of surprise. "Little guy, quickly focus your mind and refine the fire of civilization in your body." Seeing Mo Qingyun's situation, the Pill Devil's expression became serious and he immediately reminded Mo Qingyun. Hearing Pill Devil's reminder, Mo Qingyun immediately released immortal spiritual power and began to refine the fire of civilization outside his body. As Mo Qingyun refined the fire of civilization, his connection with the fire of civilization immediately became much closer. After a while, the fire of civilization was refined by Mo Qingyun and was easily controlled by Mo Qingyun. Rise. Mo Qingyun formed another hand seal and tried to gather the fire of civilization on his palm and put it into the 9 cranes homecoming cauldron. Soon, a flame full of life gathered on Mo Qingyun's palm and was put into the 9 cranes homecoming cauldron by Mo Qingyun. As the fire of civilization was put into the 9 cranes homecoming cauldron, the cauldron immediately flashed and became much more transparent. In addition, a beautiful image appeared on top of the 9 cranes homecoming cauldron. 9 beautiful white cranes were flying freely in the sky, bringing with them a pure flame energy. Seeing this scene, Mo Qingyun couldn't help but be stunned. He looked at the Pill Devil inquiringly. Seeing Mo Qingyun's gaze, the Pill Devil smiled in surprise and said, "I didn't expect your fire of civilization to be of such a high grade that it has reached the level of manifesting its spirit. It seems that your achievements in alchemy will surpass mine in the future." Qingyun's achievements in alchemy will surpass Senior Pill Devil's. Hearing the Pill Devil's words, Gu Yang was stunned and felt that his brain was not enough to process it. The Pill Devil's alchemy skills had surpassed the level of a 10-star alchemy master and reached a higher level. Mo Qingyun's achievements in the future would surpass the Pill Devil's. What kind of level would that be? At this moment, Gu Yang felt that his brain was not enough to process it. This brat is becoming more and more unfathomable. Just how much potential does he have? Looking at Mo Qingyun in front of him, Gu Yang was shocked and had mixed feelings. He realized that the more time he spent with Mo Qingyun, the more he realized that Mo Qingyun was extraordinary. At the same time, he also realized the gap between himself and Mo Qingyun and felt a blow to his ego. Now, he finally understood why the Pill Devil kept saying that alchemy required talent. The fire of civilization that Mo Qingyun possessed was something that he did not possess. It was a factor that he could not surpass. While Gu Yang was still in shock, the Pill Devil sat down beside Mo Qingyun and said, "Little guy, although you have ignited the fire of civilization, if you want to master it, you still need to explore it. Master, please give me some pointers." Mo Qingyun did not deny the Pill Devil's words. Instead, he looked at the Pill Devil with an inquisitive expression. After learning that the fire of civilization could be used to make alchemy, Mo Qingyun was filled with anticipation and eagerness to master it. If his alchemy skills improved, he would be able to refine the nirvana elixir of creation on his own. Watch carefully. Seeing Mo Qingyun's eager expression, the Pill Devil did not keep Mo Qingyun in suspense and immediately demonstrated it to Mo Qingyun. When the Pill Devil demonstrated, Mo Qingyun immediately focused on watching the Pill Devil's every move. As he watched the Pill Devil's techniques, Mo Qingyun immediately gained a new understanding of how to use the fire of civilization. As time passed, Mo Qingyun became more and more proficient in using the fire of civilization. While Mo Qingyun was familiarizing himself with the fire of civilization, the Pill Devil saw that Gu Yang was bored and said with a serious expression, "Little Gu, since you sent this old man a genius disciple, this old man will teach you a few moves. As for whether you can comprehend it or not, it will depend on your talent." Thank you, senior." Hearing Pill Devil's words, Gu Yang Ma was pleasantly surprised, and his face was filled with excitement. Chapter 1887. Half a month passed in the blink of an eye. At this moment, Mo Qingyun was sitting quietly in front of a small mountain in the Pill Devil's cave. The 9 cranes homing cauldron was placed in front of him, along with various alchemy materials with rich spiritual energy. The Pill Devil and Gu Yang stood not far away, looking at Mo Qingyun nervously, waiting for Mo Qingyun to start refining. "Senior, do you think little senior brother will succeed?" Looking at Mo Qingyun in front of him, Gu Yang asked the Pill Devil's opinion with a nervous expression. Hearing Gu Yang's question, the Pill Devil pondered for a moment, then said in a deep voice, "Based on Qin Yun's usual alchemy performance, if nothing unexpected happens, he has a 70% chance of becoming a 7-star alchemist." 70% chance. Gu Yang's heart jumped. He was very surprised by the success rate of the Pill Devil's words. Under such circumstances, a 50% chance of success was already very high. He did not expect Mo Qingyun to have a 70% chance of success, which was almost a certainty. While the Pill Devil and Gu Yang were talking, Mo Qingyun made a hand seal and ignited the fire of civilization. When the fire of civilization appeared in Mo Qingyun's hand, he put it into the 9 cranes homing cauldron to enhance its spirituality. Carp leaping over the dragon gate. After putting the fire of civilization into the 9 cranes homing cauldron, Mo Qingyun did not stop and quickly made another hand seal. After the hand seal was formed, Mo Qingyun pointed at the alchemy materials and put them into the 9 cranes homing cauldron. After the alchemy materials were put into the 9 cranes homing cauldron, they were refined by the fire of civilization and had their impurities removed little by little. As the impurities were removed, the materials began to turn into a medicinal liquid, exuding a rich spiritual energy. When the alchemy materials were turned into medicinal liquid, their forms were constantly changing. Sometimes they were in the form of spiritual herbs, and sometimes they were in the form of medicinal liquid. The fire of civilization is indeed the fire of origin. It can actually make the medicinal liquid return to its original form. Mo Qingyun could not help but sigh as he looked at the changes in the form of the liquid. He was even more amazed by the wonderful use of the fire of civilization. Mo Qingyun silently sighed in his heart. He no longer hesitated and immediately formed another hand seal. Once the handprint was formed, he sent it into the 9 cranes returning cauldron to fuse the medicinal liquid, solidify it, and form it into a pill. About 2 hours later, suddenly the 9 cranes returning cauldron, which had been calm all this time, emitted a pill fragrance that drifted in all directions. At the same time, a strange image appeared above the 9 cranes homecoming cauldron. Success. Seeing this, the pill demon and Gu Yang's faces lit up with joy, and their expressions became excited. Although they had already guessed that Mo Qingyun would have a high chance of becoming a 7-star celestial alchemist, they were still surprised. However, when he saw Mo Qingyun advance, he couldn't help but feel excited. While the pill demon and Gu Yang were still feeling excited, Mo Qingyun formed another handprint and pointed it at the 9 cranes returning cauldron. When the handprint flew out of Mo Qingyun's hand, it directly flew into the air and produced a powerful converging force. Under the influence of this power, dark clouds with terrifying auras quickly gathered above Mo Qingyun. He's going to refine a tribulation-grade pill. Seeing this scene, Gu Yang's face was filled with shock as he recalled the scene in Cloud Heaven City. When he was testing Mo Qingyun had refined a tribulation-grade pill, exceeding his requirements. He did not expect that after so many days, Mo Qingyun, who had not refined a tribulation-grade pill, would refine one again. Good lad, you're really bold. You didn't let me down by thinking so highly of you. Seeing Mo Qingyun's actions, the pill demon nodded in satisfaction and immediately praised him. In his opinion, only by constantly challenging himself could he break through again and again. If he had to refine the pills one by one like he was completing a mission every time, how could he strive for perfection? Boom! Under the watchful eyes of the pill demon and Gu Yang, a powerful tribulation lightning fell from the sky. When the tribulation lightning landed on the elixir, it swallowed the elixir and began to refine it. Seeing this, the pill demon and Gu Yang's expressions became tense. They wanted to know if Mo Qingyun would succeed. At this moment, time seemed to stop. Everyone held their breath. Time passed little by little. The tribulation lightning that enveloped the pill slowly receded, revealing the pill that was rich in spiritual energy. It's done. Seeing the pill emerge from the tribulation lightning, Mo Qingyun's face lit up with joy. He raised his hand and waved at the pill. This was his first time refining a 7-star pill. He was very satisfied that he was able to make the pill pass the first tribulation lightning. As for passing more tribulation lightning, there was no need for that. This tribulation pill was mainly for him to become a 7-star celestial alchemist, not to test his limits. Since he had met the requirements, there was no need for him to continue. As for testing his limits, he could try again next time. There was no need to feel burdened. He really succeeded. He didn't let me down. Very good. This lad is really a monster. He actually succeeded. Seeing that the tribulation-grade pill was successfully refined, the pill demon and Gu Yang were overjoyed. They quickly walked over to Mo Qingyun. Seeing that the pill demon was in front of him, Mo Qingyun handed the 7-star pill he refined to the pill demon and said, Master, this is a 7-star celestial pill that I just refined. Please take a look. Okay. The pill demon took the pill from Emo Chinyun and immediately examined it. He wanted to find out what Emo Chinyun was lacking. As the pill demon looked at it, he nodded and frowned from time to time. After observing for a while, the pill demon put away the pill and said with a faint smile, "All in all, this is your first attempt at refining a 7-star celestial pill. It's very rare for you to be able to reach this step." The pill demon suddenly changed the topic and said with a serious expression, "Due to your limited cultivation, there was a lack of spiritual power during the refining process. In addition, your soul power is not strong enough, so some details were not handled perfectly." Hearing the pill demon's explanation, Emo Qingyun's heart sank. He couldn't help but sigh inwardly. In the end, my cultivation is still too low. It seems that my cultivation speed is still not fast enough. Seeing Emo Qingyun's heavy expression, the pill demon thought that his words were too harsh. He comforted Emo Qingyun, "Qingyun, you have cultivated for less than 50 years. It's very rare for you to have such result. Your problems are not too important. Once your cultivation improves, everything will no longer be a problem. You don't have to worry too much about it." This disciple understands. Hearing the pill demon's comforting words, Emo Qingyun sorted out his emotions and nodded. Chapter 1888. I've taught countless people, but I've never seen someone as talented as you. As long as you work hard, you'll definitely surpass me in the future. The pill demon was pleased to see Emo Qingyun's mood improve. He encouraged Emo Qingyun and said, "You're about to participate in the alchemist trial. Is there anything else you want to ask me before you go?" Emo Qingyun's eyes lit up when he heard the pill demon's words. He thought of Qian Linglong's injuries and said, "I do have some questions." The pill demon and Gu Yang were curious. They wanted to know what Emo Qingyun wanted to ask. Emo Qingyun looked nervous under their gazes. He asked, "Master, if a person's primordial spirit was seriously injured by the decaying soul race, how can it be treated?" Decaying soul race? One of the top 3 races on the 10,000 Archean races board? The pill demon was surprised when he heard Emo Qingyun's words. He asked, "Qingyun, why are you suddenly asking me this question? Could it be that the primordial spirit of an elder in your family was seriously injured by the decaying soul race?" "To tell you the truth, I know a Saint Stage elder who was ambushed by a Saint Stage expert from the decaying soul race. His primordial spirit was seriously injured." Emo Qingyun gave a simple explanation to the pill demon's question. He didn't tell the real reason. He continued, "To be exact, the person who ambushed the elder I knew wasn't a Saint Stage expert from the decaying soul race, but a Saint Stage expert from the dark demon race who planted the decaying soul race's bloodline. A Saint Stage expert from the dark demon race." The pill demon and Gu Yang's expressions changed when they heard Emo Qingyun's words. Their expressions became tense. They said, "It seems that the rumor of the dark demon race making a comeback is not a rumor." Emo Qingyun hesitated for a moment when he heard the pill devil and pill devil's words. Then, he said in a deep voice, "Master, you may not know this, but the sect I used to cultivate in was destroyed by the Dark Devil clan. Looks like the Dark Demon race has really made a comeback. The peace of the wild continent is about to be broken again." The pill demon didn't question Emo Qingyun's words. He couldn't help but sigh and say, "It's good that the dark demons are making a comeback. Perhaps their reappearance can ease the hatred between the immortals and the divine race, giving the immortals and the divine race a chance to live in peace." Hearing the pill devil's words, Emo Qingyun couldn't help but be surprised. He didn't expect the pill devil to have such thoughts. Originally, he thought that a character like Pill Devil should be extremely stubborn in his thinking, holding the idea of fighting against the god race to the end. In the end, Pill Devil's thoughts were the exact opposite. He actually planned to coexist peacefully with the god race. Seeing Emo Qingyun's surprised expression, the pill devil smiled meaningfully and said, "At this old man's age, I've experienced so many things. How could I still be so stubborn? Otherwise, how could you have lived until now?" Emo Qingyun's expression changed, and he was speechless for a moment. It seems that some of his little secrets have been seen through by the pill devil. Emo Qingyun was speechless for a moment, then he sighed and said with admiration, "If everyone in the divine race and the immortals could think like Master, there wouldn't be so many conflicts on the wild continent. No matter the time, no matter where, conflicts are unavoidable." Hearing Emo Qingyun's words, the pill devil immediately shook his head and said with a faint smile, "Where there are people, there will be conflicts of interest. Even if there are no conflicts between races, there will still be conflicts between sects and clans." After listening to the pill devil's words, Emo Qingyun and Gu Yang fell silent, expressing their agreement with the pill devil's opinion. Seeing that Emo Qingyun did not speak, the pill demon did not continue this topic. He changed the topic and said, "If you want to heal your elder's injury, you must refine the 9-day Nirvana creation elixir. Unfortunately, I don't have it here." Sure enough, I still have to refine the Nirvana of creation pill. Hearing this, Emo Qingyun's expression turned solemn, and he couldn't help but sigh in his heart, "Master, I wonder if you have the pill formula for the Nirvana of creation pill?" Emo Qingyun thought that the pill devil, who had lived for countless eras, might have the pill formula for the Nirvana of creation pill. The pill devil shook his head, and an apologetic expression appeared on his face. "I don't have the Nirvana of creation pill, but I know the main ingredients needed to refine it. I just happen to have a few ingredients here. I will bring them to you now. I hope they can be of some help to you." As soon as the pill devil finished speaking, he turned and left to fetch the ingredients for Emo Qingyun. "Many thanks, Master." Seeing the pill devil's actions, Emo Qingyun was immediately overjoyed, and his expression was filled with gratitude. If he wasn't mistaken, the main ingredients that the pill devil was referring to should be some of the 9 saint bloods. Although he didn't have the pill formula for the Nirvana of creation pill, to be able to obtain a few saint bloods was already a good harvest. Soon, under Emo Qingyun's expectant gaze, the pill devil returned to his side. Coming in front of Emo Qingyun, the pill devil took out 3 jade bottles and said, "This red jade bottle contains the blood of the 3-legged golden crow. This red jade bottle contains the blood of the vermilion bird. Lastly, this purple jade bottle contains the blood of the Xieji. Keep them well." "Many thanks, Master." Receiving the jade bottles from the pill devil, Emo Qingyun's face was filled with excitement, and even his hands were trembling. To obtain 3 types of saint blood at once, this harvest was too frightening. He clearly knew the value of these 3 types of saint blood, and how precious they were. Previously, in the Cloudy Sky City, because of some phoenix blood, Luo Xian didn't hesitate to kill and rob. One could only imagine what kind of disaster would occur now that these 3 types of saint blood had appeared. Filled with excitement, Emo Qingyun carefully stored the 3 types of saint blood into the Fortune mainland. "All right, since everything is ready, this old man won't keep you any longer." After handing the 3 types of saint blood to Emo Qingyun, the pill devil waved his hand at Emo Qingyun and Gu Yang, indicating that they could set off. He said, "This place is not close to the alchemist temple, you should hurry on your way." "Yes, Master." "Yes, Senior." Hearing the pill devil's instructions, Emo Qingyun and Gu Yang didn't delay any longer. They complied and left the cultivation cave. Gu Yang walked a few steps, and a puzzled expression appeared on his face. He turned to look at the pill devil and asked, "Senior, Qingyun and the Cloudy Sky City's city lord have a grudge. I'm worried that he will harm Qingyun. Do you want to mediate?" "Naturally, he has to deal with his own grudge. If he can't even settle this small matter, then he's not worthy of being my son." Hearing Gu Yang's question, the pill devil coldly replied, directly expressing his attitude. He added, "If this old man is in a good mood, I might pay a visit to the alchemist temple in a few days. You can set off now." Chapter 1889. There were too many experts around the alchemist temple. In order to prevent unnecessary trouble, the Guiyang flying ship was used. Although Mo Qingyun had taken the Pill Devil as his master, the news had yet to spread. No one would acknowledge his identity. Martial Uncle, the city lord, is required to participate in the alchemist trial. Where do we meet up with them? Recalling the requirements for participating in the alchemist trial, Mo Qingyun frowned. He asked Gu Yang about the general situation. Because of Robotion's murderous intent, he did not dare to meet up with Robotion and the others in a remote area. Now that they were not in the Cloud Sky City, Robotion had nothing to worry about and could attack him without hesitation. At that time, even if he was killed, no one would suspect Luo Batian and say that Luo Batian went back on his words. Before I left the Cloud Sky City, I had already made an agreement with the city lord to meet in the alchemist temple's main hall. Gu Yang immediately replied to Mo Qingyun's inquiry. This made Mo Qingyun feel a lot more at ease. The alchemist temple's main hall was filled with crooks and honest folk. With the alchemist temple's people maintaining order, Robotion did not dare to act rashly. Knowing the meeting place, Mo Qingyun did not think too much about it. He walked into the cabin and began to cultivate. When he was refining the 7-star immortal pills, he had discovered his shortcomings. His cultivation was still too low. If he could take advantage of the time he spent in the alchemist temple to improve his cultivation, it would be a good thing. Because he was traveling with Gu Yang, Mo Qingyun did not enter the Fortune mainland. Instead, he cultivated in the flying ship's cabin. Soon, piles of immortal spirit stones appeared beside Mo Qingyun. Devouring Gate. After taking out the immortal spirit stones, Mo Qingyun used the Gate of Devouring to absorb and refine them. Since Gu Yang was also in the cabin, Mo Qingyun hid the Devouring Gate in his body to avoid attracting Gu Yang's attention. Mo Qingyun unleashed the Devouring Gate and a terrifying devouring power erupted from his body. Under the suction force, the celestial spiritual energy around him was immediately sucked out by the celestial spiritual energy. When the immortal spiritual energy was extracted, they were like thin threads that entered Mo Qingyun's body. It was as if the water in a small stream flowed into the sea. The commotion caused by Mo Qingyun's cultivation immediately attracted Gu Yang's attention. A look of shock appeared on Gu Yang's face as he exclaimed, "What a powerful divine ability! His refining speed is several times faster than mine." Mo Qingyun was only at the perfected golden immortal stage, while Gu Yang was at the 8th level of the 9 heavens Xian immortal stage. From this, one could see how fast Mo Qingyun's absorption speed was. No wonder Qingyun's cultivation speed has reached such an inhuman level. At this moment, Gu Yang's face revealed a look of understanding. He seemed to understand why Yi Shiwen's cultivation speed was so fast. After observing Mo Qingyun's cultivation for a while, Gu Yang withdrew his attention and focused on driving the flying boat. Mo Qingyun didn't pay any attention to Gu Yang's change in mood. He was fully immersed in his cultivation. As Mo Qingyun continued to refine the celestial spiritual stones, the celestial spiritual energy in his body became more and more abundant. Slowly, Mo Qingyun's aura became stronger and stronger. Time passed quickly as Mo Qingyun cultivated. In the blink of an eye, several days had passed. After several days of traveling, Mo Qingyun and Gu Yang finally arrived at the Sacred Hall of Alchemists. Arriving outside the Sacred Hall of Alchemists, Gu Yang stopped the flying boat and said to Mo Qingyun, "Qingyun, we have arrived at the Sacred Hall of Alchemists." Hearing Gu Yang's words, Mo Qingyun withdrew from his cultivation and slowly opened his eyes. Peak of the soul tempering stage, just a little bit away from the spirit-severing stage. After withdrawing from his cultivation, Emo Qingyun sensed his cultivation and a satisfied smile appeared on his face. The speed of his cultivation this time was much faster than he expected. Soon after, Emo Qingyun stood up and left the flying boat with Gu Yang. "Let's go." After leaving the flying boat, Gu Yang's footsteps didn't stop as he led Emo Qingyun to the Sacred Hall of Alchemists. Gu Yang was very familiar with the Sacred Hall of Alchemists and was very familiar with it. Before long, Emo Qingyun and Gu Yang arrived at the Sacred Hall of Alchemists and began to look for Roba Tian and the others. What surprised Emo Qingyun was that Luo Batian and the others were nowhere to be seen in the hall of the Alchemist Temple. Not here? Is the city lord not here yet? Looking around the Alchemist Temple's main hall, Gu Yang couldn't find Luo Batian and the others. A look of surprise appeared on his face. They had agreed to meet here, so how could Roba Tian and the others not be here? While Gu Yang was puzzled, Emo Qingyun saw a familiar figure. It was the young lord of the Immortal Medicine Hall, Mu Junting. When Emo Qingyun saw Mu Junting also saw Emo Qingyun and a cold smile appeared on his face. Following Emo Qingyun's gaze, Gu Yang also saw Mu Junting and immediately walked over. "Consecrated Gu Yang! Young Lord Mu!" The two greeted each other. After greeting Mu Junting, Gu Yang didn't beat around the bush and went straight to the point. "Young Lord Mu, did you see the City Lord and the others? Are you talking about City Lord Luo and Brother Luo Yen?" Hearing Gu Yang's question, Mu Junting had a look of recollection. After thinking for a moment, he said, "Not long ago, I saw the palace master of the Thousand Dragon Palace invite them to a gathering." "I see." Gu Yang had a look of understanding after hearing Mu Junting's words. He didn't plan to wait any longer and said, "Qingyun, since the city lord and the others aren't here, I'll take you to take the Immortal Alchemist assessment first. When you're done, the city lord and the others should be back." "All right." Hearing Gu Yang's suggestion, Emo Qingyun nodded in agreement. Although he had passed Gu Yang's assessment in Cloud Sky City and confirmed his identity as a 5-star Immortal Alchemist. Moreover, he had become a 7-star Immortal Alchemist in the Pill Devil's Cave abode. However, without the badge of the Sacred Hall of Alchemists, this didn't count and wasn't recognized by everyone. Therefore, if he wanted to participate in the Alchemist assessment, he had to obtain the badge of the Sacred Hall of Alchemists. "Young Lord Mu, since the City Lord and the others aren't here, we'll take our leave first." Gu Yang bade farewell to Mu Junting and left with Emo Qingyun. "This kid hasn't completed the Alchemist assessment yet?" Mu Junting narrowed his eyes as he thought about the conversation between Emo Qingyun and Gu Yang. A cold smile appeared on his face. Judging from his expression, he seemed to be up to no good again. "Brother Junting, why are you still here?" Just as Mu Junting was thinking about his ulterior motives, a hurried voice sounded from not far away. Following that, a young man in a green Taoist robe appeared in front of Mu Junting. Seeing the young man, Mu Junting's expression immediately brightened. He said, "Brother Yu Yang, I was just about to look for you. I need your help with something. With your status, it shouldn't be difficult for you to do it." Chapter 1890. What is it? Just say it. With our relationship, there's no need for such words. Yu Yang didn't even give Mu Junting's words a second thought, and agreed without the slightest hesitation. Seeing Yu Yang's attitude, Mu Junting immediately rejoiced inside, and his expression became even colder. "I want to ask you to step in and make a person unable to pass the Pill Master test, at least before the Pill Master test." Hearing Mu Junting's words, Yu Yang immediately understood and revealed a sinister smile. "Brother Junting, this move of yours is truly ruthless, directly ruining that brat's future." "Brother Yu Yang, you're mistaken. I'm saving him." Hearing Yu Yang's words, Mu Junting shook his head, disagreeing with Yu Yang's words. What do you mean? Yu Yang revealed a curious expression, not understanding Mu Junting's words. Logically speaking, Mu Junting's current task was clearly to deal with a certain person. So why did Mu Junting say that he was helping the other party instead? This was a bit contradictory. Seeing Yu Yang's puzzled expression, Mu Junting revealed a profound smile. Brother Yu Yang, you don't know, but that brat is arrogant and condescending. If he participates in the Pill Master test, he will inevitably offend many people. Isn't that the same as throwing his life away? Haha, Brother Junting is wise. Hearing Mu Junting's fallacious reasoning, Yu Yang immediately laughed out loud, not believing Mu Junting's words, and teased, since that's the case, why not let him participate in the Pill Master test, Brother Junting? Wouldn't it be better to kill him with a borrowed knife? Brother Yu Yang, you know my character. I'm not a bloodthirsty person. In response to Yu Yang's words, Mu Junting defended himself. Moreover, sometimes, killing someone isn't the most ruthless way to punish them. Brilliant, truly brilliant. Yu Yang gave a thumbs up, and a look of admiration appeared on his face. Since that's the case, let's not waste any more time, lest that brat passes the test. Let's go. Hearing Yu Yang's words, Mu Junting nodded, and walked towards the Pill Master Test Hall of the Pill Master Temple. Yu Yang's status in the Pill Master Temple was not low. Along the way, everyone who saw him saluted him respectfully. Brother Yu Yang, your position in the Pill Master Temple seems to be much higher than before. Seeing everyone's actions on the way, Mu Junting revealed a surprised expression and teased them. Upon hearing Mu Junting's words, Yu Yang showed a proud expression. He raised his head and said, "A few months ago, my grandfather's alchemy master rank successfully advanced to 9 stars. In addition, my alchemy master rank also broke through to 6 stars recently. Brother Yu Yang, this is a double blessing." Hearing Yu Yang's words, Mu Junting couldn't help but be shocked, and some envy flashed in his eyes. Although he was the young master of the Medicine Immortal Palace, but compared to Yu Yang, the difference in status was not just a little bit. Hearing Mu Junting's words, Yu Yang revealed a helpless expression and said, "Unfortunately, my bone age is already over 10,000 years. Otherwise, I would be able to participate in this year's Alchemy Master Trial. Fortunately, your bone age is over. Otherwise, there would be no suspense for first place." Looking at the dejected Yu Yang, Mu Junting teased and flattered Yu Yang. "Haha, Brother Junting, you must be joking." Although he knew that Mu Junting was flattering him, Yu Yang still enjoyed it very much, and a proud expression appeared on his face. While Mu Junting and Mu Junting were talking, they arrived at the examination hall and scanned the hall. Standing outside the examination hall, Yu Yang revealed a sinister smile and pointed at the people inside the examination hall. He asked, "Brother Junting, who is the person you want to deal with? I'll explain it for you now. It's that kid." Hearing Yu Yang's question, Mu Junting sneered and raised his hand to point at Emo Qinyun. Following the direction of Mu Junting's finger, Yu Yang saw Emo Qinyun in the hall and sneered. He said, "Wait for me here. I'll go over and explain it now. I guarantee that he won't be able to pass the examination in this lifetime." As soon as Yu Yang finished speaking, he walked into the examination hall and instructed the examiner in the hall. "Deacon Yu Yang, how come you have the time to come here?" The examiner in the examination hall greeted Yu Yang with a smile when he saw him walk over. Yu Yang's family had an extremely large network in the Pill Master Temple and had astonishing influence. Now that Yu Yang's grandfather had advanced to 9 stars as an immortal Pill Master, his influence was even more terrifying than before. As a result, they had to be more polite to Yu Yang, so as to avoid Yu Yang bearing a grudge in the future and causing them great trouble. "Deacon Li Zhao, I've come here today to trouble you with something." After greeting the 2 deacons in charge of the examination, Yu Yang didn't beat around the bush and directly stated his purpose for coming. Then, Yu Yang told the two of them about how he had made things difficult for Mo Qingyun. After hearing Yu Yang's words, Li Zhao and Deacon Zhao showed a troubled expression. They said in a deep voice, "Deacon Yu Yang, I'm afraid this matter is a little troublesome. If we were to be blamed, the two of us wouldn't be able to bear it. Why would I ask for your help if it wasn't troublesome, the two of you?" Yu Yang had expected the two of them to say so he wasn't surprised by their attitude. His expression gradually turned cold. "To be honest, this kid has offended my grandfather before. My grandfather thinks his character needs to be tested, and he's not suitable to be awarded the Immortal Pill Master Badge at the moment. You should understand now, right? So it's Supreme Elder Udihai's decree. The two of us know what to do." Li Zhao and Deacon Zhao immediately understood Yu Yang's words. Their faces turned cold as they hurriedly said, "Deacon Yu Yang, please go back and tell Supreme Elder Udihai that the two of us will handle this matter properly. There won't be the slightest mistake. There's no hurry. I'll accompany you here to test him." Yu Yang smiled faintly and waved his hand in response to their words. He directly sat down at the side. Yu Yang sat down in the examination hall and cast a glance at Mu Junting, hinting for him to come in and watch the show. Perhaps to avoid arousing suspicion, Mu Junting walked into the examination hall and didn't walk next to Yu Yang. Mu Junting looked around the hall and found an empty corner to sit down. He sneered and waited for the show to start. Mo Qingyun didn't know anything about Mu Junting's actions. He was waiting to take the examination. Perhaps because they didn't want Yu Yang to wait too long, Li Zhao and Deacon Zhao purposely adjusted Mo Qingyun's order so that Mo Qingyun would take the examination early. "Mo Qingyun, it's your turn." Li Zhao and Deacon Zhao's tone wasn't friendly due to Yu Yang's description. Their expressions were also gloomy. Chapter 1891. This is the formula for the Extreme Celestial Explosion Pill. It's the pill you need to refine for the 5-star Celestial Alchemist examination. Li Zhao took out a flaming beast's skin and tossed it to Mo Qingyun when he saw Mo Qingyun approaching him. When Li Zhao took out the pill formula, Deacon Zhao took out an interspatial ring and said impatiently, "There are 3 sets of ingredients for the Extreme Celestial Explosion Pill in this interspatial ring. If you can't refine it after 3 tries, it means that you've failed the examination." "Alright." Mo Qingyun did not mind Li Zhao and Deacon Zhao's attitude. He put the interspatial ring away. Then, Mo Qingyun sat down cross-legged to check the formula for the Extreme Celestial Explosion Pill. Li Zhao pursed his lips when he saw Mo Qingyun's actions. A contemptuous expression appeared on his face as he said, "Mo Qingyun, you only have 10 hours. If you can't refine the Extreme Celestial Explosion Pill in 10 hours, you'll also fail the examination." "Only 10 hours?" Mo Qingyun frowned slightly when he heard Li Zhao's words. He had a rough idea of what was going on. If he was not mistaken, Li Zhao and Deacon Zhao were purposely making things difficult for him. This brat must have offended someone, causing the 2 deacons to make things difficult for him. "The pill we're going to refine is the Great Profound Spirit Golden Pill, but he's going to refine the Extreme Celestial Explosion Pill. Isn't that obvious? The difficulty of refining the Extreme Celestial Explosion Pill isn't any lower than ordinary 6-star celestial pills. I'm afraid this brat won't succeed. Let alone refining the pill, 10 hours might not even be enough for him to familiarize himself with the formula for the Extreme Celestial Explosion Pill." When the onlookers saw Li Zhao and Deacon Zhao's actions, they knew they were trying to make things difficult for Mo Qingyun. Gu Yang's expression darkened when he learned of Li Zhao and Deacon Zhao's intentions. He shouted angrily, "What do you mean by this? You're clearly trying to make things difficult for Qingyun. Do you believe that I won't report you to the executive elder?" In the face of Gu Yang's stern questioning, Li Zhao and Zhao Li's expressions became somewhat unnatural. This was because they saw 8 eye-catching stars on the celestial alchemist badge on Gu Yang's shoulder. This meant that Gu Yang was an 8-star celestial alchemist with a high status. Thinking of this, Li Zhao and Li Yu subconsciously turned their heads to look at Yu Yang. Yu Yang did not tell them that the person behind Mo Qingyun was a noble 8-star celestial alchemist. Otherwise, Deacon Zhao and Deacon Zhao and Deacon Yu and Deacon Zhao and Deacon Zhao's and Deacon Zhao. If you can't accept rules. If use or leave, yours leaves is. Leave. Or deacon or s is. If. Rule is. Is. Deacon Yu. LLL did. Li Zhao and Gu Yang might be wary of Gu Yang, but he wasn't. Gu Yang was infuriated by Yu Yang's attitude. He wanted to argue with Yu Yang. Before Gu Yang could say anything, Mo Qingyun raised his hand and interrupted him. Martial uncle, don't waste your breath on him. 10 hours is more than enough to refine a cauldron of celestial explosion pills. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Gu Yang did not say anything else. He walked to the side with a displeased expression. Since Mo Qingyun had said so, there was no need for him to say anything else. Yu Yang sneered when he saw Mo Qingyun and Deacon Zhao's actions. He glanced at Mo Qingyun and said, "You know what's good for you. But if you want to refine a cauldron of celestial explosion pills in 10 hours, you think too highly of yourself." Mo Qingyun ignored Yu Yang's mocking words and immersed himself in familiarizing himself with the pill formula. He wasn't afraid of Yu Yang, but the pill devil had sent him a message, telling him to follow the procedure. If he followed the procedure, if anyone dared to make things difficult for him, he would be able to make a move without hesitation. Now that the assessment had not started, it was not appropriate for him to make a move on Yu Yang and the others. After all, he was not in the right. If he could refine the celestial explosion pills in the allotted time, the situation would be completely different. With his skills as a 7-star celestial alchemist, it would not be difficult for him to refine a cauldron of celestial explosion pills in 10 hours. It would not be too late for him to deal with everything after he refined the celestial explosion pills. Seeing that Mo Qingyun was ignoring him, Yu Yang did not bother Mo Qingyun anymore. With so many people watching, it would be too much if he continued to disturb Mo Qingyun. Time passed by slowly. After about 2 hours, Mo Qingyun put down the pill formula and began to take out the ingredient. Soon, the ingredients needed to refine the celestial explosion pills were placed by Mo Qingyun in an orderly manner. He's already familiar with the pill formula? He only used 2 hours. How can he be so fast? Could it be that he's refined the celestial explosion pills before? It's hard to say. Let's just keep watching. Everyone was shocked when they saw Mo Qingyun's actions. The curiosity on their faces intensified. 2 hours isn't enough to familiarize yourself with the 5-star pill formula unless you've refined the celestial explosion pills before. Mu Junting smiled coldly when he saw Mo Qingyun's actions. There was a hint of hatred in his eyes as he said, "I don't believe you're so lucky to be familiar with the celestial explosion pills. So what if you've refined it? I don't want you to pass. You'll never pass the test." Yu Yang didn't mind Mo Qingyun's actions at all. He had a confident expression on his face. Under everyone's gaze, Mo Qingyun began to refine the celestial explosion pills in an orderly manner. Mo Qingyun threw the ingredients into the cauldron in an orderly manner and purified them under the spiritual flames. With the passage of time, the refinement of the alchemy materials was gradually completed, turning into pure medicinal liquid. After purifying the ingredients, Mo Qingyun didn't stop at all. He began to fuse the medicinal liquid, solidify it, and form it into a pill. About 2 hours later, a strong pill fragrance wafted out from the cauldron. At the same time, a strange image appeared on top of the cauldron. The appearance of the pill fragrance and image meant that Emo Qingyun's pill was completed. He succeeded. He actually refined it. How long did he take? It's only been 6 hours. Even if he's familiar with the celestial explosion pills, it's impossible for him to refine it so quickly. This kid's alchemy skills are most likely at the level of a 6-star celestial alchemist. Everyone was shocked when they saw Emo Qingyun's performance. They were surprised by the situation. Chapter 1892. As soon as Emo Qingyun finished speaking, he tossed the blazing heavenly dipper explosive flame pill to Li Zhao and Mu Ting. Li Zhao and Mu Ting looked at each other when they saw Emo Qingyun tossing the blazing heavenly dipper explosive flame pill to them. It was an indisputable fact that Emo Qingyun had successfully refined the blazing heavenly dipper explosive flame pill under everyone's watchful eyes. If they continued to make things difficult for Duan Ling Tian, they would not be able to justify themselves. Deacons, are you done with your examination? Emo Qingyun's expression was as cold as ice. He urged them in a displeased tone, exuding an imposing aura. Li Zhao and Mu Ting were already feeling guilty. Now that they were being questioned by Emo Qingyun, they felt even more guilty. Emo Qingyun has passed the examination. Li Zhao and Mu Ting exchanged glances. They no longer dared to make things difficult for Emo Qingyun and were about to announce Emo Qingyun's result. Hold on. Before Li Zhao and Mu Ting could finish speaking, Yu Yang suddenly stood up and interrupted them. Deacons, as peak 6-star celestial alchemists, you should know how long it takes to refine the blazing heavenly dipper explosive flame pill. Even you would need at least 8 hours to refine the blazing heavenly dipper explosive flame pill. How did this brat manage to refine it in 6 hours? Li Zhao and Mu Ting's eyes lit up when they heard Yu Yang's words. They seemed to have found an excuse to make things difficult for Emo Qingyun. You're just a new 5-star celestial alchemist. It's impossible for you to successfully refine the blazing heavenly dipper explosive flame pill in 6 hours. Humph! How dare you use despicable means to cheat in the Alchemist Temple's examination? You've failed the examination. After hearing Li Zhao's words, Beggar Zhao immediately struck, while the iron was hot, and announced that Emo Qingyun had failed the test. Yu Yang and Mu Junting sneered when they saw Li Zhao and Beggar Zhao's actions. Their faces were filled with pride. They wanted to see what Emo Qingyun could do now. I wonder who this brat offended for the 2 examiners to be so against him. In my opinion, the person he offended is still in the Alchemist Temple. He will never be able to pass the test in this lifetime. That might not be the case. Judging from his alchemy just now, his alchemy skills are not low. According to what you're saying, when he refines a 9-star celestial pill one day, he won't need to go through this kind of test? Don't worry about that. Let's see what this kid can do. Looking at this scene, everyone could not help but sigh. They felt sorry for Emo Qingyun. She should have been a dazzling pearl, but because she offended a big shot, she ended up with a dusty end. Under everyone's gaze, Emo Qingyun revealed a faint smile. He calmly looked at the 2 of them and said, "Are you too sure you want to keep making things difficult for me? Have you considered the consequences?" Looking at Emo Qingyun's calm attitude, Li Zhao and the other man were suddenly speechless and unconsciously felt a little flustered. It couldn't be helped. Emo Qingyun's performance was too calm, as if he had some powerful trump card. Trash. Looking at Li Zhao and the other man's performance, Yu Yang cursed in his heart. He immediately walked to the front and shouted, "Kid, the results of the test are out. Get out of the test hall immediately. Don't disturb the others here." Hearing Yu Yang's words, Li Zhao and the other man regained their confidence. Their faces darkened as they shouted, "That's right. The test is over. Get out of the test hall immediately." Emo Qingyun's gaze swept across Yu Yang and the other 2. His expression instantly turned cold as he shouted, "Let me ask you one thing. Are the two of you in charge of the test, or is he in charge of the test? Of course it's us. Under Mo Qingyun's questioning, Li Zhao and the other man raised their heads and answered without hesitation. Very good. Hearing Li Zhao and the other man's answer, Mo Qingyun revealed a faint smile. He glanced at Yu Yang and asked, since they are in charge of the test, what are you in charge of? Under Mo Qingyun's questioning, Yu Yang felt a little guilty. He stuttered for a long time and couldn't answer. After being at a loss for words, Yu Yang remembered his own identity. His face darkened as he shouted, Kid, you don't have to care about my identity. Since you have failed the test, leave the test hall immediately. I'll return the same words to you. Whether I leave the test hall or not is not up to you to decide. In response to Yu Yang's angry words, Mo Qingyun curled his lips and retorted in a mocking tone, also, who gave you the guts to disturb other people's test here? Kid, watch your words. My grandfather is. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Yu Yang immediately flew into a rage. He planned to use his identity to suppress Mo Qingyun. However, before Yu Yang could finish his words, he was kicked by Mo Qingyun and flew out of the test hall. Mo Qingyun sent Yu Yang flying with a kick. His face darkened as he shouted, Even if your grandfather is here, he won't be able to protect you for interfering with the Alchemist Temple's test. Seeing such a scene, everyone's eyes widened. They couldn't believe what they were seeing. The kid in front of them actually dared to make a move in the Alchemist Temple and sent Yu Yang flying with a kick. Kid, just you wait. You won't be able to leave the Alchemist Temple. Yu Yang got up from the ground and spat out some harsh words with a gloomy face. Then, he left like a stray dog. Mo Qingyun didn't care about Yu Yang's words at all. His eyes revealed a look of contempt. Since the Pill Devil had said so, as long as he followed the procedure, he wouldn't have to worry about revenge. Withdrawing his gaze from Yu Yang, Mo Qingyun turned to look at Li Zhao and Li Zhao. He shouted, You two have some guts. The Temple of Alchemists put you in charge of the test, yet you're abusing your authority to make things difficult for us. Kneel down and admit your wrongs. Young Master, we were wrong. Please spare us this one time. Under Mo Qingyun's angry rebuke, the Li Zhao duo finally became afraid and immediately knelt down before Mo Qingyun. Seeing the two begging for mercy, Mo Qingyun's eyes were filled with contempt. He said indifferently, I will ask you one more time. Did I pass the test? Pass. Seeing Mo Qingyun's reaction, the Li Zhao duo didn't dare to make things difficult for him anymore. They nodded like chickens eating rice. Then, they took out a scroll and handed it to Mo Qingyun, saying, Young Master, this is the 5-star Alchemy Master's Test Certificate. Take it to the Sundry Hall, and you can exchange it for a 5-star Alchemy Master badge. You're on your own. Mo Qingyun took the test certificate and snorted coldly. He turned around and ignored the Li Zhao duo. Seeing that Mo Qingyun was about to leave, the Li Zhao duo panicked and hurriedly begged Mo Qingyun for mercy. Young Master, please wait a moment. Please listen to our explanation. Looking at the Li Zhao duo, Mo Qingyun looked at them with disgust and said, The elders of the Alchemist Temple will punish the two of you. It's useless for you to beg me now. I can only say one thing to you now. If you knew this would happen, you wouldn't have done it in the first place. After Mo Qingyun finished speaking, he lifted his foot and kicked the Li Zhao duo away. He turned around and walked out of the test hall. Seeing Mo Qingyun's performance, everyone in the test hall was stunned on the spot. Chapter 1893. This brat is really audacious. He actually dared to attack Yang in the Temple of Alchemists. Mu Junting was shocked as he watched Mo Qingyun walk out of the examination hall. Once again, he was shocked by Mo Qingyun's courage. Last time in Cloud Sky City, Mo Qingyun had beaten up Luoyin, which had already shocked him to the core. He didn't expect that Emo Qingyun would kick Yu Yang out of the Temple of Alchemists, just like last time. If he hadn't seen it with his own eyes, he wouldn't have believed that Emo Qingyun would be so audacious. Phew! Mu Junting took a deep breath to ease the shock in his heart. His expression gradually turned gloomy as he said, Although fighting in the Temple of Alchemists can make you stand out for a while, it's the most unwise move. Brat, you won't be proud for long. Mu Junting muttered to himself. He stood up and walked out of the examination hall. These two guys are cheating and deliberately making things difficult for others. Let's not continue with the examination. That's right. If they vent their anger on us, we'll all be in trouble. Forget it. I'd better not come back for the examination for the time being. I've been here for so many years. A little while more won't make a difference. I'd better go back first. Everyone, don't be in a hurry to leave. That guy was kicked out just now. He'll definitely seek revenge on Emo Qingyun. That's right. Let's go to the junk hall now. Maybe there'll be a good show to watch. Everyone whispered to each other. Then, with expectant expressions, they immediately rushed to the junk hall. Emo Qingyun left the examination hall and followed Gu Yang to the junk hall. The registration area was very conspicuous. Emo Qingyun looked around the junk hall and saw the registration room. Seeing this, Emo Qingyun walked into the registration room and came to the registration desk. Emo Qingyun handed his examination certificate to an old man in charge of registration. Soon, he exchanged his examination certificate for a 5-star Celestial Alchemist badge. After obtaining the 5-star Celestial Alchemist Master badge, Emo Qingyun had officially become a 5-star Celestial Alchemist. Since we've obtained the Immortal Alchemist badge, let's meet up with the City Lord. After Emo Qingyun received his 5-star Celestial Pill Master badge, Gu Yang instructed him to meet up with Roba Tian and the others. Alright. Hearing Gu Yang's suggestion, Emo Qingyun nodded. Following that, Emo Qingyun and Gu Yang walked out of the miscellaneous hall. When Emo Qingyun walked out of the junk hall, everyone from the examination hall was already waiting there. At this moment, their gazes were all focused on a group of people. This group of people was Yu Yang and the others. Seeing Emo Qingyun walk out of the junk hall, Yu Yang's face immediately turned gloomy as he shouted, Brat, you actually dare to make a move in the Alchemist Temple, you must be tired of living. You're quite fast. Emo Qingyun was not surprised by the arrival of Yu Yang and the others. A mocking smile appeared on his face as he said, You've already violated the rules of the Alchemist Temple by interfering with the Alchemist Temple's assessment. Instead of obediently accepting your punishment, you actually brought people here to cause trouble. I think you're the one who's tired of living. As soon as Emo Qingyun finished speaking, his gaze turned cold as he glanced at the people beside Yu Yang. He shouted, Don't blame me for not warning you. It's not too late for you to leave now. If this gets out of hand, it'll be too late for you to regret it. Upon hearing Emo Qingyun's words, a middle-aged man in a blue robe beside Yu Yang immediately frowned. The brat in front of him was too calm. He had no choice but to act cautiously. If what Emo Qingyun said was true and they were still helping Yu Yang, then they would be helping the evildoer do evil. Captain Lian Chen, this brat is causing trouble in the Alchemist Temple. Hurry up and take him down. Seeing the middle-aged man in a blue robe not taking action, Yu Yang urged in a displeased tone. He then said, Don't forget that it was my grandfather's idea to have you come here. If he's not happy, I'm afraid he won't be in the mood to guide Lian Wei in pill refinement. Hearing Yu Yang's threat, Lian Chen's expression immediately turned unsightly. He unconsciously clenched his fist. Lian Wei was a genius of the younger generation in his family. He had outstanding talent in alchemy and had always been learning alchemy from UD High. In order to force him to take action, Yu Yang actually used Lian Wei to threaten him. He was truly too shameless. Little brother, I'm sorry. Lien Chen suppressed the anger in his heart. A trace of apology flashed through his eyes as he made a difficult decision. For the sake of Lien Wei's future, he could only let Mo Qingyun down. Take them down! Lien Chen shouted angrily. He released the aura of an 8th layer 9 heavens Xian immortal and led his people to surround Mo Qingyun. Seeing the actions of Lien Chen and the others, Gu Yang immediately shouted angrily and also released the aura of an 8th layer 9 heavens Xian immortal. Under the impact of the two powerful auras, the surrounding people were all forced to retreat. Everyone had a shocked expression on their faces. Stop! The commotion caused by Gu Yang and Gu Yang immediately attracted the attention of the elders of the miscellaneous hall and attracted them over. When the elders of the miscellaneous hall appeared, one of them shouted coldly, "You're really daring to make a move in the alchemist temple. Are you challenging the dignity of the alchemist temple?" Elder Deng Yi, so it's you. It's great that you're here to uphold justice. Looking at the elder of the miscellaneous hall who spoke, Yu Yang immediately revealed a happy expression. He went up to Deng Yi and said, "It's like this. This brat used a despicable method to cheat in the alchemy test. After I exposed him, he attacked me out of spite. That's why I brought Captain Lien Chen to capture him. Cheating in the alchemy test." After hearing Yu Yang's explanation, a trace of doubt flashed in Deng Yi's eyes. He turned to look at Mo Qingyun and asked, "Young master, do you have anything to say about what Yu Yang said? Isn't it easy to find out if I cheated? Just call the two examiners over." Facing Deng Yi's question, Mo Qingyun had an indifferent expression and shrugged his shoulders at Deng Yi. Upon seeing Mo Qingyun's reaction, Deng Yi's expression changed slightly. He instructed the person behind him, "Ma Wei, go to the 5-star Celestial Alchemist Assessment Hall immediately and bring the two people in charge of the assessment here." "Yes, Elder." Hearing Deng Yi's order, the person didn't dare to hesitate and immediately went to call Li Zhao and Gu Yang. Not long after, Li Zhao and Gu Yang arrived. Their faces were filled with panic. Seeing Li Zhao and Gu Yang's arrival, Yu Yang's expression turned cold. He shouted, "Deacon Li Zhao, Deacon Zhao, the two of you are really muddle-headed. How could you give the certificate to this brat under his threat? Now that Elder Deng Yi is in charge, tell him the truth." Hearing Yu Yang's words, Li Zhao and Gu Yang immediately understood. They hurriedly knelt in front of Deng Yi and said, "Elder, please uphold justice for us. Not only did this brat cheat in the examination, but he also injured and threatened us." Li Zhao and Gu Yang said a series of bad things about Mo Qingyun. Chapter 1894. I originally thought that the two of you were forced to do so and wanted to give you a chance to change your ways. Now it seems that there is no need for that. Looking at the two kneeling on the ground, Mo Qingyun shook his head regretfully. Disgust appeared on his face as he said, "No wonder people often say that a pitiful person must have a detestable side. This saying is not false at all." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Li Zhao and the other man immediately trembled. Panic appeared on their faces. At this moment they were all wondering if they had really done something wrong. Ignoring their feelings, Mo Qingyun looked around and smiled faintly. "Since you are so curious as to whether I cheated in the test or not, I will prove it to you now." Clang! There was a deafening sound of metal. A huge pill cauldron with beast patterns appeared in front of Mo Qingyun. It emitted a faint saintly aura. Mo Qingyun took out the pill cauldron. He sat down cross-legged on the spot and took out various alchemy materials. Is he going to refine pills? Seeing Mo Qingyun's actions, Deng Yi was curious. He looked at Mo Qingyun with interest and smiled. This little guy is quite interesting. Facts speak louder than words. Refining pills is indeed the best way to prove something. While Deng Yi was talking to himself, he also looked at Mo Qingyun with admiration and kept nodding at him. A quasi-saint artifact pill cauldron. This guy is so generous. Is he going to refine pills like this? Doesn't he need to adjust his state? This is going to be interesting. When Emo Qingyun refines the pills, Li Zhao and the others will have nothing to say. Seeing Emo Qingyun's actions, the surrounding people were full of anticipation. They wanted to see how things would turn out. Under everyone's gazes, Emo Qingyun's hands quickly formed seals, and he quickly condensed a hand seal. A shining hand seal flew out from Emo Qingyun's hand and rushed into the sky. Boom! Boom! Suddenly, a deafening sound came from the sky. Then, dark clouds rolled in the sky above the crowd. Flashes of lightning gathered in the dark clouds. Seeing this scene, some of the low-level immortal alchemists were dumbfounded. Although the higher-ranked immortal alchemists weren't dumbfounded, they were still shocked. This is the rising dragon tribulation hand that has been lost for 10 million years. Seeing Emo Qingyun's action, Deng Yi was shocked. He was so excited that his voice trembled. However, before Deng Yi could finish his sentence, he was completely dumbfounded. The alchemy ingredients in the air all transformed into the shadows of dragons, dragging the shadow of a huge planet. Holy Dragon Heaven Shifting Hand, the ultimate technique of the Heaven Shifting Medicine sect from 50 million years ago. Looking at the scene in midair, Deng Yi's eyes widened and his mouth opened wide. His mind went blank. His mind was blank. He had only heard of these legendary alchemy techniques. He did not expect Emo Qingyun to have mastered them. While Deng Yi was shocked, the way he looked at Emo Qingyun changed greatly. This young man, where did he come from? How did he know so many lost alchemy techniques? While Deng Yi was curious about Emo Qingyun's identity, he looked at Li Zhao and Elder Chen with a gloomy expression. At this moment, if he still did not know that Li Zhao and Elder Chen were lying, he would have lived in vain. Someone who knew these lost alchemy techniques would cheat in the alchemy assessment. Was this not ridiculous? This young man has such a terrifying talent in alchemy. Lien Wei's talent in alchemy is not worth mentioning in front of him. After witnessing Emo Qingyun's alchemy skills, Lien Chen could not help but sigh. He knew that he had made a big mistake. While Lien Chen was feeling ashamed, he was also glad that Elder Deng Yi had come in time. Otherwise, if he really made a move on Emo Qingyun, the consequences would be unimaginable. Under everyone's shocked gazes, Emo Qingyun's alchemy technique kept changing, displaying one lost alchemy technique after another. These lost alchemy techniques were all learned from the pill demon's hands in the recent month. Time passed by bit. About 6 hours later, under Emo Qingyun's wholehearted refining, the medicinal pill was finally refined successfully. Soon, a thick pill fragrance wafted out from inside the pill cauldron. At the same time as the pill fragrance wafted out, a strange scene appeared in the sky above the pill cauldron. When Emo Qingyun saw the pill image appear, he immediately condensed a hand seal, wanting to absorb the pill image into the medicinal pill. Once this hand seal appeared, it turned into hundreds of ghost shadows, swallowing the pill image in the sky. This is the pill demon ancestor's famous technique, 100 ghosts devouring heaven hand. Deng Yi was shocked when he saw Emo Qingyun's technique. He said in shock, Could he be related to the pill demon ancestor? Is he the pill demon ancestor's disciple? In Deng Yi's opinion, only the pill demon's disciple could understand the pill demon's alchemy technique. When Deng Yi thought of this, the way he looked at Emo Qingyun changed greatly. After absorbing the pill image into the medicinal pill, Emo Qingyun formed another hand seal and struck toward the sky. Soon, dark clouds flashing with lightning appeared above Emo Qingyun. Is he going to refine a tribulation pill? Deng Yi's body trembled when he saw Emo Qingyun's action. Intense shock appeared on his face. The difficulty of refining a tribulation-grade medicinal pill was much higher than that of an ordinary immortal pill. Even a 5-star tribulation-grade immortal pill was more difficult to refine than a 6-star immortal pill. After learning of Mo Qingyun's plan, Deng Yi's expression immediately tensed up and he looked nervously at the sky. After a short while, under everyone's nervous gaze, the tribulation-grade medicinal pill was successfully refined. It was a 3-tribulation 5-star immortal pill.